What is up? We're back. This is Chords V Plugs. I'm Blizz81. This is Big Red 773.
And if you're listening to this broadcast, you are the resistance.
Welcome back, everybody. We made it this time.
At least one more time. Hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's safe.
I'm gonna go through and share it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. So, how about journalism? It's been a lot of L's for the journals this week. Quite a few examples we're going to get in today of some funny business going right underneath their nose that they can't seem to investigate or get any sort of facts on. The interesting Bill Gates developments, shit that's been in some news circles for a while, more I guess less mainstream news circles on the internet, the fringes of the internet probably a lot more. But people have been banned for insinuating Bill Gates's ties to Epstein and pointing out that he's not a doctor and all the other questionable things he's been doing with plant meats and buying up all the farmland, shit like that. The media took a turn on him recently, and you got to ask, is it more than just getting everybody's eyes off of Israel, the jobs, and it's interesting, the hacking of the pipeline. All of a sudden, we have just an avalanche of news stories to divide everybody up. Also, Fauci saying that the pandemic is racist.
Yeah, I was thinking that the that CDC announcement to demask was at the perfect time to
The CDC says fully vaccinated people can have a little beer while driving.
Just a little bit.
But the CDC said, nothing, you idiots. The CDC's dead. It's in Biden's basement.
How about all the lefties now? Do you think it's hypocritical for all the lefties to not follow CDC guidance now when they say to not wear a mask? Do you think it's a little hypocritical or no? All the ones that were fucking yelling at people for the last 3 months that CDC guidelines say.
The mask became the yellow star.
How many lefties do you think are still wearing the masks simply because they don't want to be seen as conservatives?
Well, I'm sure there's more than a few brainwashed sheeple out there. Brainwash now comes in more colors.
Fully personalizable. You can put any corporate sponsor you want on your brainwashing now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All the corporations in the UN and all the major governments have shared the same opinion of me as me. I am the resistance.
I am the resistance. Sponsored by Coca-Cola, Amazon, YouTube, Google. Whatever. You know what I mean? Fucking people. Like, when did the go-to response from any American that's being told what to do move from fuck you? You know what I mean? That should be the immediate go-to American response. Fuck you. Tell me what to do.
You want your life back? Take your medicine.
Right?
Is that a threat?
Yeah. Get vaccinated or wear a mask. It's just that simple. It's way simpler than that. Fuck you.
It really don't get much simpler than that.
You know what I mean? Way simpler. Once again, you're thinking too far into it. Here's Buckeye. What's up, Buckeye? Thanks for tuning in, bud.
Welcome. How's your Monday?
Man, I gotta get a cam.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Is getting the whole green screen set up and getting on cam. It's coming. It's definitely coming.
For sure.
Just got to figure out if I want to do a Dr. Disrespect disguise or not, because the crazies are out there.
Right. We should just get like corporate sponsored ski masks. Buckeye said he's this or calculus. He's doing some calculus courses. Way out of my wheelhouse.
Well, you want to jump in to the Twitter sphere? I got a lot of good shit to unravel here. I think I got the screen shared. Looks like I'm fucked either way. We might all be, but just enjoy the ride. Try to have a little bit of fun. I don't think you're alone.
Like the chat box. Yeah, Buckeye. When we stream with StreamYard. So it's a little bit better than going straight off of Discord. That way we could put, comments on the screen. We could invite people, kick people pretty easy without actually letting them into the inner circle, so to speak.
I was hoping to get some of the trolls in here right off the bat, but at least we have this here and we can point it to them, because this was a hot topic of discussion in our last episode with all of our many, many visitors talking about the Wuhan lab leak theory. And we have from the New York Times, one of their sources, another group of scientists call for further inquiry into the origins. It's not going away. It's becoming more and more mainstream now that the Orange Man is gone. Now we could say these things. At least a little bit.
Well, basically, I read this story, and basically, it's like 18 really well-known virologists, experts across the world, have come together and written this paper that says that the WHO dismissed the lab leak theory out of hand. They didn't investigate it fully, and it still needs to be investigated because it is still a viable theory as to where the shit came from. Buckeye says theories are not allowed.
No, certainly not that Marxist race theory.
Yeah, I've actually done some more, a little bit more research. Again, Eric Weinstein has a couple of different talks about the reasons why he believes it is lab leaked. Really interesting. I'm not a fucking biologist or a virologist, but if anybody is and wants to get a little bit deeper, Eric Weinstein says to pay particular attention to the S2 and the S3, where they connect, and then to pay even more attention to the spike protein CGGG, which with all intents and purposes should not be there.
And it's interesting because it's one of the things that I believe Fauci uses to say as evidence that it couldn't be lab engineered. They say, look at this. This had to have happened in nature.
Yeah.
I don't know if you science man.
Right.
Alleged science man.
And that's what they say about that.
Stooge.
That's what they say about that CGGG spike protein, is that in nature you would think that the virus would develop a spike protein that actually helps the virus instead of only hurts humans. You know what I mean? Because that's what the CGG does. It just makes it more transmissible in humans. It doesn't do anything for the actual virus, which is like, yeah, why would that be in nature?
Yeah, a very interesting evolution.
Right? Especially missing that fucking patient zero, the one that just died without being fucking or was infected, whatever, without being transmissible. You know what I mean? You'd think that a virus would get to that stage before it just infects every fucking buddy on the planet. But whatever. I'm just a blue collar working man, you know what I mean?
What did we get dubbed? We're energy scientists, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
That's not our forte.
yeah. We're Twitch energy experts.
So I wanted to share this fucking story here because this popped up late one night over the weekend. I think I was getting off work and I read the title and I was just like, what the fuck is this? What is the Bezos Post fucking doing right now? And lo and behold, I stumbled upon some clear fucking Marxist propaganda. There was no opinion fucking marker on it at first either. They fucking put that on there. It was just the title. Only the least tasty employees work for home.
What?
Oh yeah.
Opinion: how the management yearns for a return of the workers, how it is ravenous for them, how it hungers for them.
So this thing literally is a... Oh, I fucking brought it up. You guys can't see that window. Let me do a screen share on this other window real quick. So basically it is literally about the office is feasting and eating on the fucking employees. And it's fucking starving to death and it can't wait for its food to fucking return.
We'll go full screen so you can read it a little bit.
It is good and important to go back to the office. Oh yes. It is so very good and important. And I'm glad that you asked me. I know all that transpires in the office and how very good and important it is to be there. Yes, for everyone to be there. Go down a little bit. The office is empty of people and filled only with the scent of hand sanitizer and flat sodas that were opened in March 2020. There is no nourishment in this. Oh, how the management yearns for the return of workers. I'm reading it on the fucking smaller screen. How it's ravenous for them, how it hungers for them. Basically, it's about, and it goes into how there's a snake living in the fucking ductwork, and it's feeding on people, and it's starving to death without fucking people being there.
Didn't the Washington Post just come out and something just happened where they admitted that Bezos basically used the Post to further his own fucking other companies like Amazon and shit like that? Like he basically bought the Post and just turned it into a fucking, what do you call it, like an asset for his other companies instead of it being a media organization.
It's just a propaganda machine. It's just a big ad for all of his endeavors
Or
his ideas.
His own political views or policy views that he wants put in place to, you know, make that, what's it called, the Space Dragon? Is that what he's working on? The Amazon fucking Mars mission? Because didn't Bezos just announce he's stepping down from Amazon as the COO or CEO or whatever?
Yeah,
he's going to focus on space.
Yeah, trying to be the other Lex Luthor to Elon. No shortage of bad guys popping out.
I've been having mixed feelings about Elon as a whole lately, actually, with what he's doing with his Saturday Night Live. You know, things that he said on Saturday Night Live kind of gave me an impression that he's not so I don't know, driven to better the world, so to speak.
I'm not buying the fucking hype right now because he's still being shit on by everyone. And if he was with the in crowd, it would be like Bill Gates up until now, you know, can do no fucking wrong. And it's not the case at all. They are afraid of him. They're trying to shit on him every chance that they fucking get. You know, he doesn't have fucking free reign. Otherwise, we'd probably be on fucking Mars already, you know?
Yeah.
That's I think that's the narrative right now, is to make him look not trustworthy. Fucking, oh, this guy's got fucking Asperger's. He's just a lucky idiot.
Yeah.
I'm not falling into that one just yet.
He has been coming out and talking about the carbon tax more. What was his tweet a while ago? He said it's high time that we actually started fucking taxing carbon emissions. I don't know, man. I don't even know. How does taxing something make people stop doing it? You know what I mean? Especially when that tax is probably a write-off for a lot of these big fucking multinational corporations. Like, I paid that in tax. You can't tax me again on that.
I'm by now. He usually has a fucking plan. He doesn't. I haven't seen him say something and not mean something. You know, he very well may have the carbon fucking alternative, you know, in his back pocket.
Right.
It's like, so let's make these laws so that we're gonna tax the shit out of this. And oh, by the way, you can buy this from me and eliminate carbon completely.
What's up, Perfect Union? Welcome to the stream. Right now we're using StreamYard. I could send you an invite though if you want to jump on panel. I like your new avatar. That's pretty cool. He says Elon Musk supports carbon tax because it means more Tesla sales.
Yeah, I mean, there really ain't nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I've been looking at Musk and Bezos in much the same light these days, whereas before I was thinking that they weren't the same type of person. You know what I mean? Here, let me get a link for you real quick.
Let me read a little bit more of this article because I got to. So yeah. One quote is particularly interesting. I cannot wait for you to be back in the office with me. We shall all feed on one another's ideas and energies. And then, let's picture an enormous green snake. But, I mean, all in all, it's about the office is eating and destroying the fucking employees. This is clearly some fucking Marxist fucking propaganda. At a time where nobody wants to go back to fucking work anyway. Like,
talking shit about management. We're so hungry. We need to feed off of the lowly workers so that we could sustain ourselves. He looks like Lex Luthor. He definitely looks like Bezos for sure. It's creepy.
And the amount of people lining up to battle with him is telling too. Dave Portnoy, now known as Dave Ponzi, is another one. Hashtag Dave Ponzi.
Here you go. What else do you got? Go back to. All right.
White House says humanitarian. This was May 14th. Humanitarian aid to the Palestinians will continue. Business is booming all over the world.
They just hit them with another payment, didn't they? Like right after all the conflict happened and started in Israel, didn't they just hit them with more money?
Yeah, they did. Was it April 7th? They hit them with 200 million. That's where all those missiles come from.
Yeah, 235 million. After they testified in front of Congress that they know that the aid that we give to Palestine is used for arms. Like, our government testified that they already know this.
Zero fucks. I did enjoy the irony of the air quote journalist building getting blown up, because immediately the first thing came out were quotes over the Summer of Love last year, saying that destruction of property is not violence. It can be replaced. Clearly not violence.
Clearly not violence.
It wasn't lost on me.
Why isn't anybody really talking about that? You think that would be fucking huge news, right? You think coming
Yeah,
right enough, Union.
Yeah, it's under the rug because you got, mask off and you got Bill Gates. What else in I guess they're turning on Chrissy Teigen. They're sacrificing her to get everybody's eyes off of this fucking disaster fucking administration.
That's gonna fix the country. We just need Chrissy Teigen's cookware out of Target.
Paula Deen is back. More mayonnaise.
Yeah, you think that they'd be talking about that like crazy, man. You know what I mean?
Another great quote. Don't worry, Associated Press. The IDF will be conducting mostly peaceful military operations this weekend. That was probably the line of the fucking week.
Union's here. I'm going to add him to the stream, Red, just so you know.
For sure. Oh, I'm glad I got this on here.
What's going on, Union?
What up, people?
How you doing?
I'm kicking it out of a ditch. Yeah, Jeff Bezos, man. I guess a piece of work.
He just needs
Hey, look, I'm okay with them making all the money they want, right? And then I'm okay with, smacking them around and breaking them up. They're too damn big.
If Amazon discovers a crystal that's green, I'm going to be really really upset.
Well, if they corner the market on green crystals, I think
Yeah.
it's where you have to worry.
So yeah, we're just going through the news so far since the last time we streamed, which was last week, Union.
Yeah.
It was a pretty eventful week.
Yashar Ali. I think this guy writes for the Times sometimes, doesn't he? Isn't he a Times contributor?
You're talking. Well, who are we talking about? The guy that
the guy on screen right now, Yashar Ali.
Oh, you guys looking through?
New York Magazine HuffPost contributor.
Well,
doesn't say Times.
You need to know.
Yep.
But this is a very interesting video, man, of Arafat and Barack with Camp David with Bill Clinton, and just the way that they interact with each other. Even then, it's very telling of how things still are to this day. How it's just so egotistical that neither one of them can concede to one another. Either side can concede to one another, for anything, for not even just a fucking moment, because I don't know if it's the appearance of fucking weakness or it's just so ingrained in that culture, but
it's just the cameras being on them.
That too. Yeah, that too. But I mean, that says a lot. It says a whole fucking lot.
What does it say? Ehud Barak and Yasser Arafat arguing like two Middle Eastern uncles over which would enter the building at Camp David first.
Look at this.
Right?
This is fucking ridiculous. Like fucking children. And I said it last episode that Israel and Palestine, they both need to grow the fuck up. And they've needed to grow up for a couple fucking decades, it seems like.
Wrong. Like thousands of years.
Well, yeah. Well, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So let me just throw something out here, right? Because I think it would be great if they could get along, but they can't get along, and the reason why they can't get along goes back to the it's not just even
the dawn of man.
It's not Islam. It's literally, well, I guess it might be. But people say, well, it was Palestine. It was the Palestinians were thrown away. You know what? There are no ethnic Palestinians. Okay. Yeah. They were either Jews or nomadic Arabs. Right. They were Bedouin traders and travelers and shit like that. Well, right.
The land was still called Judea back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's kind of a large chunk of the problem, right? and I'm not anti two-state solution or anything like that, right? I think they need to pull their head out of their ass and they need to get settled out, right? They need to do something to end it. But there's a couple problems there with the current setup, and I will get to that in a second. But the original problem was that the Arabs in around 600 AD, they on the ruins of the second Jewish temple, they built the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Okay, so they built one of their most holy sites on top of the most holy site
Yeah.
for the Jews.
Yeah. And that's not
Which
just
was
that spot either. I mean,
that
all
was-
over
that-
all over
that's-
Israel, they're built on top of each other, one on top of another.
That is a common occurrence, though, for all fucking religions. You know, pretty much all Catholic churches, at least in the old country, and even here, they're built on native fucking
even like
sacred
the-
sites. You know,
It was a thing. It was a thing that
we tear your shit down, and we're claiming this
It
now.
was
This
the
is
thing
our
that
spot, and
right.
it's always been our spot.
the thing that Islamists did, particularly in Europe, right? If you go to a lot of places in Europe, especially in Central Europe and then the south of Spain, where the Moors came in and Islamists that came in, right? That like they came back out after the Crusades. They took over a lot of Catholic churches, and they didn't necessarily raise them, but they put minarets and shit on top of them.
Yeah,
right?
they took down the crosses.
A lot
and
of
put up
hybrid.
the-
You see a lot of hybrid in the Middle Ages. You see an awful lot of hybrid buildings where the Islamists came or Muslims came in, right, and they basically just co-opted the churches because they were already there. And I think in it's Croatia or Romania, you can see Roman inspired architecture with minarets on it and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that there's a lot there, and yes, it happens, but there's a difference between co-opting a church and then co-opting the most holy site. Okay, so there's a lot of animosity that these two groups of people have carried on for each other. And to be honest, when the partition was done in 1948,
48, yeah.
The way the partition was worked out was kind of stupid, right? Because they basically made a bow or a banana out of Israel, where it's fat at the top and the bottom, and it was really thin and narrow across the middle. Well, the Arabs all announced and they gave the West Bank to the Palestinians, or the people who didn't really have a country at that time. They were just basically, like I said, nomad Bedouins, right? And also the Palestine area, that area in the Middle East, was basically a deposition plant for Jordanian criminals. Right? It was the Middle East version of Australia.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was just gonna say. Took the words right out of my mouth.
So the Arabs got pissed off because now all these people that had been basically rejected from other Arab countries now have to go back, or they have to squeeze into an area or whatever. And of course they're pissed because maybe they had land, maybe they had cities or whatever. But, Jerusalem is a Jewish city. It is a Jewish name.
Right, but
Right,
even in that 1948. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Judea, right? What predated the concept of Palestine. Palestine was like an 1900s term. Okay, it was Judea. It was the land of David. I mean, according to the Bible, 6,000 years ago, right? King David founded Israel, the land of Israel, right?
Right.
So, and people say, well, the Arabs were descendants of Abraham as well. Yeah, the Bible says that, right?
Yep.
No sweat. I got no problem with that. There's no issue there. But God in the Bible gave Israel to the children of David. Okay, or the children of Abraham, generationally down through to King David, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, if the Israelis are getting pissed off because people are lobbing rockets at them and they go in there and they blow shit up and they fight back, and inadvertently innocent civilians are killed because the Palestinians are hiding behind them or propping them up and using them as human shields, I don't have a lot of empathy for Hamas or for the Palestinians.
You know,
No,
Because
absolutely
they-
not.
they
I have empathy
certainly
for
not
the
for Hamas.
Palestinian people. Yeah,
yeah,
but
for
the
certainly not
Hamas,
Hamas. Yeah,
well,
no.
but
Because
to be honest though, they allowed Hamas to come in and run their government.
right? But Hamas, once they got control, they haven't given any semblance of control to the people. It's just Hamas making choices.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I get that, but now because it's essentially run as a dictatorship,
right?
can't or one party rule, so it's like Maduro, right? In Venezuela, they can't get anything fixed up.
Right.
And your point earlier about us sending them aid, humanitarian aid, that aid is not going to them. That aid is buying munitions.
yeah,
Yep.
oh yeah.
Yep. Supply
Yeah.
lines. What?
I've been
establishing
letting
supply lines for whatever they need.
everybody know where I can that they not only are they paying for this whole endeavor over there, they a lot of them voted for it, and business is booming.
Right.
Hopefully, Biden will build Gaza back better.
I think Netanyahu just decided once and for all that Hamas is going to be a thing of the past, and he's not going to stop now until that happens, and then the Palestinians can actually speak for themselves again.
I mean, this is kind of what Trump's whole premise was, right?
Mhm.
The Palestinians through Mahmoud Abbas and through Hamas have not been honest brokers. They've never been honest brokers, and the damn Iranians and what they do and how they foster terrorism throughout the Middle East, wherever they can, right? Because they want to stick it to the West so bad that they're willing to convince people to blow themselves up, and do shit like that, right? I mean, everybody knows that if you fire rockets into Israel will retaliate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you're lucky they didn't preemptive strike.
It's not
before
going to be a
that.
rock. It's not going to be a bigger rock either.
no,
Yeah, they're lucky they didn't preemptive strike to begin with. Honestly, Israel's the champion of the preemptive strike.
well, yeah, they blew.
So
nuclear.
is all of this
70s.
going to end up, or at least being marketed as Israel is liberating the Palestinians from Hamas?
I don't know.
I don't know, but now the news media is so out to get and label and brand Israel as a totalitarian state that they're not reporting, I think, with in earnest what's actually going on there. And the fact that, and they're even throwing up the concept of like the Abraham Accords, which is Trump's greatest foreign.
Right. Well, no rockets came from Bahrain, right? So it seems to be working.
What do you mean?
Bahrain is the one of the closest countries to Israel that if they were going to show aggression,
They're supplying missiles for the Iron Dome.
No, they signed the Abraham Accord, and they were not among the countries that missiles have come from. The rockets. I mean, there's been rockets from Lebanon. There have been rockets from Syria. There've even been rockets.
But all of those munitions, none of those countries can make their own shit for themselves, much less export it. It's all coming through intermediaries from Iran.
Right.
That
That's
cheap
why I'm worried
Iran
about.
shit's. They said, what was the ratio of the amount of them that misfired and just blew up on the spot, fucking their own people up?
That's what they said.
Video, right? It blew a shitload of people up, including innocent civilians. I think a 7-year-old kid got blown up.
7-year-old kid.
I was watching some of the footage, the Iron Dome footage, and you could see the misfires.
If we're talking about civilian casualties, Israel has totally fucked up. I mean, they were averaging like for every one Hamas leader that they were targeting, they were killing 1.4 civilians. So I mean, obviously the raise in arms that they're using, they're definitely, like you said, they're not throwing rocks back. They're throwing fucking javelins. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Look,
the roof knocking is a nice sentiment, but
the what?
The
roof
roof knocking, it's a nice sentiment, but
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't serve self-interest.
I think this news building, the media building they knocked down the other day, is huge because they don't seem to be wanting to talk about this at all.
So you think about this, right?
exposing.
When Reagan bombed Gaddafi, right? one of the things that got happened is that the Libyan embassy got bombed, right? And comedians made jokes about it. They said, well, maybe if we didn't have to fly that extra 18 hours over France, right? Or the French, it was the French embassy that got inadvertently got damaged, right, through one of the bombs that dropped. And comedians would put out, says, well, maybe our aim would have been, Sam Kinison said, maybe our fucking aim would be better if we didn't have to fly the extra 18 hours because they wouldn't let us overfly France.
Yeah, what was the reporting, Red? They said that in the media building that they were not allowed to access the lower floors of the building, and they had very well-dressed security that made sure that there were no cell phones or cameras in that area. They didn't know who the fuck what they were doing. Apparently,
what's it called? Israel provided some sort of evidence today that of Hamas's dealings in that building. I saw that tweet this morning.
Yeah, fuck the AP.
I don't know if we're going to see that evidence, but I certainly would love for that to leak. I'm sure if they have anything, they'd leak it.
I just love the amount of mask off these days.
They're definitely great. They have a great propaganda machine.
Yeah, it's not going to come from the AP. They're not going to do anything except push leftist narratives.
Exactly.
I'm saying Israel themselves. I mean, if they will leak whatever the fuck they have.
If they've got info, you can rest assured it'll find its way out. The question is whether or not they can find a venue that would dare counter what the main narratives have been.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the sheer amount of mask off. You know what I mean? Everything's being shown for exactly what it is now.
This is your trust. These are your fact checkers, huh?
Fact checkers all quit after Orange Man. They're like, fuck, got to look for a new job. Learning the code now.
There are no facts in the fucking media, that's for sure.
What else we got on Twitter here, Ed?
So this, I wanted to point, history repeats itself. And, I've talked about a couple times how it seemed like through Trump, like we were living through the fucking Nixon era again. And now we're into it would seem like we're in the 70s with fucking gas shortages. And
inflation. Don't forget stagflation. Yeah. One of the best presents we got from Jimmy C.
So I've been reading this book about a comedian, Lenny Bruce, who was big in the 30s and the 40s. He dealt with in the 50s,
the 60s.
Yeah, well, he got started a little bit fucking earlier. He was big then, and that's when he was having all of his drug problems and shit. But he was on in jazz bars and shit like that for a while, and with the censorship laws and just the government overreach and shit that was going on back then and was clamored for, it seems to me like maybe it wasn't this. We weren't living in the 60s through Trump and now the 70s. Maybe it was the 30s during Trump, and now we're in the 40s, and it's a little bit grimmer than I thought that it was. That shit really is fucking gearing up to fucking hit the fan.
It's not just booze, it's fucking ideology. It's thoughts now.
The left is now the Christians, they're the religious fundamentalists. And I think there's a lot of comparisons there, and it's a very interesting road to think down.
Yeah. I was thinking about that too, right? How we were cyclically going through a bunch of shit. Europe's doing the same thing, right? They're essentially appeasing Russia. They're appeasing Iran and stuff like that, right? I feel like we're in the very early 30s, and Europe is essentially acting like fucking Neville Chamberlain. Yeah. And we're taking that sort of democratic isolationist tack that Roosevelt had in the early stages, right?
Yeah, like Lindbergh.
Expand the welfare state or create the welfare state. And so they kind of shied away from a lot of foreign stuff. And then the worst thing he could have done was fucking make Joe Kennedy ambassador to fucking England. He was a Nazi sympathizer. Democrat, Nazi sympathizer.
How wrong was McCarthy? Now that we look
Mhm.
back,
Just only in practice, he could have went about it a little bit better.
he's
But
just
yeah,
a little ahead of his time.
spot the fuck on, spot on.
So the trick, right, is leftists have figured out how to use the law and the Constitution against the Constitution, and they've done it by taking over education systems.
Yeah, they do this. They did the same thing with religion. You know, you get the religious argument back to your ideas, but they don't even believe in religion. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, use religion to disprove or to say, well, if you don't support, healthcare for all, you're not you have no humanity.
Moralizing.
So yeah, and the pedestal that they put themselves upon is so fragile that all it takes is somebody who's capable of rational, logical thought.
Yep.
And you can knock them down pretty easy.
I feel the same way. The contradictions are built in. They're not a side effect. They're a part of the design. You know what I mean? It's all just meant to confuse.
No, I agree with that.
Shout out to Julian Assange in jail for releasing a video of U.S. military airstrike hitting some journalists. Thought that Poso agreed that is definitely appropriate to bring up during these non-violent attacks in Israel.
Mostly peaceful.
These mostly peaceful attacks.
Well, I thought they were just
on Hamas.
They were just doing construction there because they're going to rebuild that building.
Yeah, they're building back better.
It looked
building back better.
It looked like a pre-staged implosion for a building.
The first one on the first night, the first building that went down, you could tell they fucking rocked that motherfucker, man. It's like just a stilt got knocked out from under it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
This is the thumbnail we have for this stream today. Union, check it out.
I also want to point out the sauce lines at Chick-fil-A. It starts with sauce lines. That's how it starts.
I mean, people got shot in Popeyes, man, for that damn chicken sandwich.
This is how it starts. The bread and milk are next. One more gas shortage. They fuck with our pipe. The one more pipeline shut down, and damn, I just remembered it.
You know,
so there's been 2 trains that derailed this week.
I'm sure, bro. It's not like an uncommon occurrence.
And the one in Minnesota.
It's pretty fucking uncommon for them to be catastrophic fucking derailments that. Not just off. Sure. So yeah, there's been 2 of those this week, and I just want to point out the trend. And if we get one more, there's a pattern here. It just bodes too well with, you got the attack on the fucking pipeline, and then this should start happening. I'm not going to ignore the infrastructure.
Yeah. I'll go straight to conspiracy. Remember those people that were getting arrested for fucking up with the train tracks in Portland? Where did this happen? Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go straight
the other
to
one
conspiracy.
The other one was like in Ohio or Iowa.
Yeah, I'll go straight to conspiracy. Don't
just something I'm keeping my eye on. If I see one more fucking big train derailment this week, all right.
I just keep thinking back.
We gotta lock it down. Lock it the fuck down.
Red, I keep thinking back to the sauce lines, and I'm thinking if you go through Taco Bell drive-thru and you don't end up with 18 mild sauces, you know that something's coming.
Yeah, for sure.
How many packets of mild sauce do you need, sir?
I'll say if you don't have it, get out of my face.
Rationing the Arby's sauce. You get a 20-piece chicken rings. You get one little thing of barbecue.
Right. McDonald's has already been charging for barbecue sauce. They're gonna fucking upcharge now. Shit's getting real.
Yeah. Rationing the fucking Big Mac sauce. Get half a fucking square to secret sauce now.
So have you guys noticed that every fucking where you go, grocery stores, whatever, everybody's jamming in like help wanted posters?
Yep.
Now we're hiring. Would you like to deliver Domino's? Fuck no. I don't even want to eat Domino's.
Red and I were talking about that earlier. We were saying that anybody that's just sitting on unemployment right now, and you are going to need a job after this, I'd highly suggest you go and find one now, because there's plenty of good paying jobs out there right now.
Yeah,
But when
a lot of cats aren't realizing like fucking school ends, right? And the first thing seniors do before they go to college is they suck up all the damn
right,
jobs.
and not just that, but once unemployment, the UI gets cut off for everybody. Everybody's going back to work whether they like it or not, and a lot of people are going to end up flipping burgers that weren't necessarily flipping burgers before this shit happened.
Well, you know what? Fuck them. They should just open up a kickstand restaurant.
Everybody's living high right now, getting that extra dough. But get out
use capitalism to your advantage while we still have it. Fucking market your fucking talents and do something you fucking like.
The socialists talk their game all day long about how we could just. There was something that was going on. Oh fuck, I can't remember. It was Hippy Dippy, I think, the other night. They were talking about the one world governing thing, right?
Yeah, being benign, right? That's I remember.
Yeah,
I was there for
benign.
That.
The benevolent overlords will tell you when you can do what you got to do. And I was like, you realize that you can't subsume away human nature, right? I mean, you couldn't. In the old days, war was between two tribes who lived next to each other, where one had better water than the other.
Right. So
there's no fucking such thing.
And their argument is, I'm a sock them. We could just vote them out.
Yeah, you know how it works. The only way it would work is if aliens come down. You got to have Will Smith go up in a jet,
right? And that would be at our. America would probably be at the head of the table, no matter what.
It'd have to be. It would have to be an existential threat that isn't theoretical,
right?
The climate change. So there used to be global warming, until the ice cap started growing back. Because it's cyclical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? The Earth has been warmer in its past. This is scientifically fucking factual. The Earth has been warmer in its past than it has ever been since the Industrial Revolution. It's also been a fuck ton colder.
Yep. Yeah, and it will be again, and then it'll warm up again. Absolutely. Just with the precession of the equinoxes. Fucking.
Was it 7,000 year cycles? Right?
Seems like people do not science as much as they think they do.
But I mean, just to caveat this whole conversation, we all of us agree that humans affect the climate. None of us, nobody says that we don't have any bearing at all on our carbon levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a tick on a dog's ass.
Right, exactly. No matter, we all believe it. Just to what extent? Obviously not the left's extent.
Well, but
unsettled. You know what I mean?
Look, if the left seriously gave a fuck about climate change, they would say, okay, we need to end everything and just go back to living in caves. That's it. Because anything else, right? Anything that supports any kind of industry to get tax money for them, and there have been people that have come out, including AOC, who have come out and literally said, this is a ploy to redistribute wealth. That's it. That's all it fucking is. And if the world wanted to get together and say, you know what, we want to fuck over all of the people in our own countries, but we're going to do it at a roughly even rate. So countries like India and China and others have to play by the same rules and fuck themselves just as hard as they want us to fuck ourselves. Yeah. Then I'd be like, okay, well, at least it would be fair.
Well, I mean, that's like the synopsis.
Get a third, they get a 20-year head start, 15-year head start. And they get to keep polluting and doing everything that they're doing, right? While the rest of us have to basically choke ourselves to death. It's like David Carradine in a fucking Thai hotel.
For sure. For sure. It's wild. And nobody thinks that India shouldn't be going through an industrial revolution. You know what I mean? It's dragging Indian people out of poverty like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But like we've already gone through that. You know what I mean? And that's what they're saying is like, you've already gone through it, so you could afford to help out the rest of us.
Yeah, I get it. Right. So the same thing is like they said, well, the Christians went through their crusades and they were really, and they butchered Arab peoples. And that's really what gave rise to Islam as a religion, right? Because they just sort of, rallied the troops around a common thing that was bigger than themselves. Okay, I'm not saying Islam is not. I'm not saying it's not a religion. It's a religion, but it was born out of necessity.
Yeah, I don't understand the thinking that it just went one way. You know what I mean?
No, but
It
then
definitely didn't just go one way.
Yeah, but the point that I'm making on that, right, is that where something is there and it is violent or it's whatever, and in the past, and then you have something now, right? So you have Islamists that are out there and they're beheading people and they're saying convert or die, and doing all this. I'm not saying everybody, right? But obviously there's a segment, right? So they're just as bad as the people who tried to promote the slaughter of innocents during the Crusades, right? But why, if we knew that it was wrong fucking 1,200, 1,300 years ago, why does somebody get a pass today because their religion is, 600 years younger?
Right. I mean, is that what we really want? The law of conquest just gets. How far back do we go on this? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
thousands of years that.
The thought of enlightenment, right, is that you become enlightened. It's not that, well, you're enlightened now, but I still want to be able to fuck up just as bad as you did 600 years ago.
Yeah.
No, that's not enlightenment. That is like tit for tat.
Right. We have to even the playing field, equity, and it's the grandest form. You know what I mean?
That's not what they're going to do. They're not going to bring everybody up to first world status. Right. They're going to take us down to third world.
That's exactly right. The rising tide will swamp the boat is essentially what it's going to come down to. I was trying to think of a quick way to say that as a kind of like metaphorically speaking. But,
yeah, right.
We're gonna dump so much into the boat. Well, this is actually pretty good with things like illegal immigration and just open borders policy, the whole Cloward and Piven rules for radicals, where the best way to break a system is to financially bankrupt it, and the way to financially bankrupt it is to put every swinging dick you can into some kind of government subsistence program or some kind of government program where they become liable or are indebted to the government for their existence, and they will therefore vote for the policies that ensure that existence. No matter how meager it is, it's better than nothing. And this is why you see people drawing fucking unemployment insurance and not actually working. Because, if I could make $700 and not pay any taxes on it whatsoever, because they're never going to pay fucking tax on it because of COVID. The Congress is going to just say wipe that out. Because normally you have to pay tax on your unemployment insurance. But they're just going to go ahead and keep riding that pony, and maybe you could make $800 or $900 in your shit job, right? But you get $700 and never have to even file a tax form.
Yeah.
Right. Why wouldn't you do that? And why wouldn't you do that especially if you're like your college age kid or something like that, or somebody who just graduated college and you're living in basically a fourplex,
right?
And your rent is not $2,000 a month; it's like $650.
Yeah, it's totally
no problem.
It's completely understandable why people are just getting unemployment, especially through the pandemic. If they were concerned with it, you know what I mean? It's totally understandable. But at this point, where we are, it's like, what are you going to do? Is this what you want to do? Is this the plan, really? You know what I mean? Is this how you want to continue going forward?
Well, I mean, people will optimize around whatever set of rules the game has.
Exactly.
And as the rules change, people will optimize to the rules, right? So if you seriously want to improve people's life, people's standing, people's quality of life and living, then the rules need to be such that you're not rewarded for sitting on your ass. Because if people are rewarded to sit on their ass, that's exactly what they'll do. They won't be productive. And the rate of technological increase, the thing that drives and propels societies forward, will stagnate.
I definitely agree. I definitely have been thinking along the same lines as the boat is going to sink, especially with all these new voters that are coming into this country. And we pondered if if we've possibly seen the last Republican president just off of just, you know, who the majority really is or would be after 4 years of an unchecked border. I got a little bit of hope earlier today following Elon Musk's fucking starting the crypto wars and the backlash that he's getting from Dave Portnoy and others. And I thought that more and more people are getting into not just crypto, but they're getting into stocks. You know, people all over the world of all different sorts of incomes, you know, big and small. And I thought where things are going as far as taxes are concerned, I think more and more people are going to shift over to the right and become more conservative just off his capital gains tax alone. You know, this is educating so many more people as to, you know, the big game, as well as, you know, keys to ending their own fucking poverty. And they're going to see, you know, that overtaxation is it's a threat to, you know, to fucking livelihoods.
Yeah, they let the ordinary man into their fucking game on accident because they can't control technology at this point. And this is to bring it back to that one world government idea. The whole crypto thing, that's the one reason why I do like crypto, because the existence of cryptocurrencies basically it just puts a big red X through globalism, through one world government, because it can't be controlled. You know what I mean?
It can be. That's a fallacy. It can be controlled.
Well, yeah, I mean by like majority ownership, like China has, but I mean that all these different forms of crypto
illegal. They can make it illegal to transact, or they could tax the transaction such that it becomes unworkable. Right? I mean that's what they're.
They certainly could.
Money,
yes.
If you make money in crypto now, you have to list that as a capital gain. If you bought Bitcoin you bought a Bitcoin at like $12 and you sold the Bitcoin, you sold the whole Bitcoin at 60 grand, you had to pay.
Right. My point
against, probably in that case, long-term capital gains. Right. But it wildly swings and fluctuates, but you also can't take that as loss.
Right. My point was just that one government can't control the making of the coin. You know what I mean? Like right now with the dollar, they could just hit the button and print out fucking 17 million more dollars. You know what I mean?
Printing press go. Brrr.
Yeah, that the thing with the crypto is that because there's so many different cryptos popping up right now, that no Federal Reserve right now without you know government intervention.
Yeah, unless they just shut them all down and buy everybody out.
I think the long term implications for crypto are unknown as yet. Okay. But the short-term volatility, I mean, for the next probably 5 to 10 years, people are going to lose their shirts over crypto. There's going to be some people that are going to make money, and the people that can afford to, like the Portnoys of the world, if they can afford to drop, $800,000-$900,000 into something, and if they lose half their value, fuck it, they don't care because they made a lot of money on other wild swing plays and stuff. That's fine, but there's going to be a lot of retail cats, like the guys who went in and tried to prop up fucking GameStop.
Yeah,
they're going to lose.
They're trying to again. They're trying to hit AMC to 100K right now.
And the other thing that really makes this really, really dangerous is that a lot of cats who were sitting on their ass and got stimulus checks.
Yep. Put it right in the market.
They just put it right in the market, and it was all for them. It's just like going to Vegas, right? Well, I got $1,400. I'll just go to fucking Vegas, or I'll go to Vegas in the stock market.
Yeah, that's the best.
Some people made money, and some people lost their shit.
The market, the best comparison is a fucking casino to me. Period.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is. Well, I guess it is, right? Because in a way, it's kind of like the horse racing market, right? Like horse racing. If you do enough study, you can increase your odds of success, but it's still a fucking crapshoot unless you're willing to leave your shit in the market and just play the law of averages over 20 years.
Or unless you're connected and you get a fucking message the day before that hits the fucking market.
Yeah, so that's the kind of shit that I think insider trading should be a felony that has minimum 25 years.
I think that we've entered the new age of insider trading with fucking Twitter and social media, just this connectedness that everybody is the insider now.
Yeah, but that I think complicates.
It doesn't eliminate,
Becomes
the big
knowledge.
wigs,
Right, it
but
becomes public.
it leveled the field a little bit.
Yes, and it does, and it takes the concept of public disclosure a lot further out, further wide. Used to be that you had to wait for an SEC filing from a bank or from a company or whatever, right? But if you're out there and you are pushing things out, or stories get out, or you get guys like the stock guy on Twitch who I watch, he's pretty fucking smart.
Yeah, the meme stocks.
Yeah, meme stop guy. Well, it's called the stock guy, but yeah, he does a lot of meme stuff on that, and then he also has some long-term play stuff as well, right? So he's at least he's talking to people. He's not giving them stock advice, but he's explaining his rationale, how he's working, and in effect, he's providing a service for no fee to any of these guys, right? That are out there watching, and they learn, and people can learn. And I think if you learn the game, so long as the rules in the game aren't radically altered in a capricious way, arbitrary capricious way, then people can make money. Because honestly, you're not, and for most of us, you're not going to get ahead, just slaving yourself away at a job, right? You have to get to a point where, and you have to work hard to get to a point where you have more disposable income than you need to care for your needs.
Right.
And that means beyond like a vacation fund or beyond your education for your kids or whatever the fuck you want to do, education for yourself. If you can get, 25, or if you start out 25, 30 fucking bucks in your 20s, or even when you're in high school, if you could put that money away on a weekly or monthly basis and just keep doing that over 50 years or 60 years, you're going to be set, and you won't need fucking Social Security. You know what I'm saying? But we don't, we don't instill that in people. I came to the investment game pretty late. I got into it when I was in my 40s, right? And I lost everything with the recession of 2008. And I have more than doubled what I had since then, because I just took a more aggressive approach. It didn't hurt that I took some consulting gigs that paid me a lot of money, so I had more disposable income at that rate. But I was chunking back the max every year, and as soon as I hit 50, I was putting in the extra $6,000, 5,500, $6,000. I think it's 6,500 grand or something now, right? To be able to do so. Money you put away in a stable long-term view, people should always be putting 15-20% of their money away. And if that means you have to go out to eat one less time a week or one less time a month, or fucking avoid Starbucks and make coffee at home, people have to make those tough choices for themselves, because eventually you do it well enough and you invest in yourself with your own education, and you surround yourself with people who are good people, who are mentors.
Yep. That's what I was just about to say.
You know what to do.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say, is that education, when we say education, it doesn't necessarily mean college or schooling. It means education, learning, being like, you could get an education from your cousin working on a car, just watching him. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it is falling flat on your face or losing it all. It's all in education.
Like in my case, right, in 2008, I lost over $200,000. Okay. $200,000. Lost my house, lost everything. Had to sell my car. I mean, I literally moved into a cinder block place that was $400 a month. And I lived in a cinder block apartment for a year and a half. And then I got picked back up. I was in tech space. I ended up selling fucking used cars, right? Just to get enough money to fucking live. And eventually the company that I had worked for years and years earlier had called me up because they needed somebody with my uniquely weird skill set. And I was able to parlay that into a pretty lucrative contract. And, I learned my lesson, and I'm still, to my way of thinking, I'm still behind. When you get to retirement, you better have between $1 million and $2 million that you can live off of. And if you don't have it,
Yeah, that number's going up. It's probably
Another
it'll
job.
probably be 5 by the time I
Well,
reach
yeah, I
retirement
mean,
age.
for me, right? Because I'm younger than most of you fucking people, but I mean, I'm older than most of you guys. But the bottom line, right? You gotta do what you can to improve your own situation. And if you don't have a lot of money to retire on, then at least prepare yourself to get to something where you've got health benefits, right? Medicare, whatever. Try to and try to augment what you can do. Become a subsistence person. If you know how to hunt. If you know how to grow, food, grow food. If you know how to fish, right? But
The
try
best-
to ever be the person who has their hand out to the government. Social Security is a different thing. Medicare is a different thing because you actually pay into that shit, right?
Yep.
But try not to ever be the person that has to go get food stamps when you're in your retirement age.
Man,
You
my
can always do something else. Monetize the fuck out of this stream. You know what I'm saying? Make
Yeah,
something.
anything. That's what I was just going to say. The best advice I can give any young people is literally diversify your sources of income. You want to have 5 to 6
Streams.
sources of income. Yeah, streams of income.
Mhm.
That's the best way to get ahead. Everybody's thinking about the one stream of income from the government. It's like, oh my God, it's terrible, that idea to me.
Yeah,
It's
there's something that
absolutely
people do
terrible.
with investment, right? When they get older, you can be more aggressive with your investment strategy when you're younger because you got more time to make it up. But when you get older, donate plasma if you have to.
Blood and semen, baby, blood and semen.
Blood and semen, and not just not mixed together.
Right,
You guys,
Metallica.
is the going rate for unvaccinated sperm going up?
Jesus.
Sitting on some gold, baby. Sitting on solid gold.
One of the these kids are all 6'5" basketball playing types, and they will all get NBA contracts. No problem. Guaranteed. Guaranteed for your money back in 35 years because I'll be dead and it won't matter.
I'd imagine the sperm donation money's probably gone up over recent years with the trends and other subjects.
Had a lot more.
Give me 5 to 10 years, man. This unvaccinated sperm's gonna be worth something.
Well, actually, to be honest, if you think about it, right, with the toilet paper hoarding and
Velveeta liquid gold
and the aloe and the alcohol, right, and people making their own sanitizer, there's got to be a surplus of all of that shit. So you just put up a website and just advertise, and then you supply the materials. And somebody else could bring in the plastic cups, and then you got a business.
And then you advertise straight to Portland and Seattle.
Yeah. Fucking billboards. Those billboards will be great.
Right? Need babies? They just sent Kevin $100 gift card for cancer research study.
It's a hustle, man.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a hustle.
You see that Wawa's in Pennsylvania are giving $500 signing bonuses and $300 bonuses if you're vaccinated? So if you're vaccinated and you get hired at Wawa, you get $800 just for the first day working.
Sounds great.
That's what I'm saying, man. A lot of people are going to get stuck jobless when this unemployment gets cut off, and there's a fucking
just for a little bonus, little signing bonus, and that's the last bonus or raise you're going to get for a while.
Right. You're going to have to put that on your resume after you work there one day and quit for $800, but depending on your situation.
But Kevin and I were talking a little bit. It goes into the hustle conversation. Basically, we're talking about
your buddy Kevin
making money for making money for every second of the fucking day, and he's talking to me about there's video game websites that'll actually pay you in crypto for playing their games, and we got into
link me, Kevin. Link me.
We got into more. He's got me the links. I'll send them to you. But then we got also into the conversation is what Yang was talking about is, as far as people being paid for their data. And basically, I had made the comment that advertisers should be paying us to watch their commercials instead of paying the networks to put it on TV. They should be fucking giving me a fucking stipend every month.
What's that? The Fediverse. That's the idea of the Fediverse, is that you actually own your own data, and it links all social medias. It's just a directory. That's what I'm talking about. Big thinking, $1 million ideas.
I firmly fucking believe in it.
Yeah, $1 million ideas don't work anymore. You need $1 trillion ideas.
Right. My problem is that I never had the $1 million ideas. I had $1 million $1 ideas.
There you go. It's not as efficient, but you still get there.
Right.
I'd like to, the guy. This is the old argument. Would you rather sell a $10 million light bulb or $1 million $1 or $10 million $1 light bulbs? Well, of course, everybody wants the $10 million light bulb, but the materials are
quick and easy, baby. Quick and easy.
Kevin says Brave browser pays you in was that BAT, makes about $4-10 a month watching porn and memes.
I'm sorry, BAT, like Vietnamese currency.
It's probably the name of that website's currency, and you exchange it for other shit. I doubt it's the Vietnamese currency, but it might be. You never know.
$4 a month to watch porn.
Yeah, just for using the browser. Using that browser, they pay you to use it. You make money off of your data.
That's like Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You'd have to be able to simultaneously work that out to you'd have to cheat a lot of browsers. Because $4 a month, I don't know where you come from, but that's
it'll cover tissues.
I mean, the good news. Well,
it's a start, man. You got to get more and more people on it, and then somebody's going to say, "Hey, we offer you $10 a month to watch your porn and memes over here." This is how capitalism works.
We're out here chilling for Bang Bros right now.
People are just slapping
it's the idea.
Wow, I could have done this a lot sooner. I've been giving it away for free.
Right? Yeah. Tell it.
Oh God.
What do you got up here, Ed?
So there's that story about that author getting kicked out of getting that Space Force commander.
Oh yeah, how horrible. We have a problem with Marxism. Oh yeah, you're fired.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
What the fuck, dude?
So McCarthy, we're sorry.
It's McCarthyism in reverse, right?
Right, exactly.
But
so you got the wiki definition of critical theory up?
Yeah, and it, lo and behold, it's a Marxist.
Imagine that. Anybody saying that critical theory is not a Marxist idea, maybe you should edit the Wikipedia page.
Cultural assumptions.
Maybe you should edit the Britannica page.
Oh, I lost it.
So this is critical theory, but then I guess critical race theory is an extension beyond.
Yeah, it's just an offshoot of the main critical theory.
Yeah. I'm gonna step away for just a second, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Apparently.
Basic attention token. Best advice I ever got from an old man at the dog track. Pay attention.
Yeah, cheapest thing. It's the cheapest thing you'll ever invest in.
I see what you did there.
I gotta kill this and reshare the page because I closed the window and it fucked it up on my end.
Well, guys, let's see. It's 5:00, so I have a number of yard tasks to do, but I'm glad you're up and streaming. So,
right on.
Well, thanks
appreciate
for
you coming
us.
Through.
Yeah, appreciate it. Definitely.
Kevin is prodigious. Well done, Kevin.
Meme squad.
Anyway, you guys all have a fantastic day. I'll catch you another time.
Right,
you too. Appreciate you coming through, man.
Deuces, my friends.
All right, I got that back up. All right, you can share me again when you're ready.
All right, coming true.
All right, so yeah, we have critical theory. All theories are Marxist, apparently. No theories allowed. And then here we have more air quote journalists. What's
Mr.
up, Wombat?
coming through. Welcome to the stream, Wombat. Thanks for coming through.
Where are those idea boys?
Apparently, this guy got fired today.
Yeah, but that's
years.
that's just years, and that's just the corporate response. Literally, where are these idea boys that are literally supposed to be fighting this?
Yeah, right. Antifa should have had a problem with this. The ideology should have definitely put up a fight against anybody calling for a Fourth Reich, I guess. I don't know. I mean, to put it bluntly.
Yeah, it's poor taste at the very least.
What else we got?
We have this doctor who was so victimized because a middle-aged white woman asked her if she worked at the store that she was shopping in.
Yeah, this kind of pissed me off reading this, actually.
I was not a fan, as you could tell by my response, but I also realized that in the coming days, months, the workers don't seem to be going back to work. They seem to like they're gonna fucking try to make a stand. At least some will. And
I foresee
basically don't ask for help. The rules are, or the lesson is, do not ask anyone for fucking help. There is no help. Help is not coming.
There will be no help.
That's basically what I got from it, and I think that's the lesson that they're trying to instill upon you, is that there is no fucking help. Help is racist. Just give up.
I don't know if this doctor is trying to make like a racist trope, you know what I mean, implying that this middle-aged white woman had some kind of racial motive. But what happened to just being a good person and helping your neighbor? You know what I mean? If I'm in a store, I have like an intimidating face in general. I got like resting bitch dude face, I guess. So people don't usually approach me, but if somebody did approach me out in public at a store and asked me for help, I'd help them. You know what I mean? My first instinct would be to help them, not to talk shit about them on Twitter. Like, oh my God, people need help. Ill.
Well, hopefully she did help the old lady and then just went to fucking rage gloat about it on Twitter.
I highly doubt it based on her tweet about the situation. When I looked at her blankly and answered back in a Deadpool voice, no.
She actually said later, I regret that I didn't tell her that I was a doctor so I could watch her die. There's a direct quote from this lovely physician.
Great people. Those are the good guys, right? The doctors, the experts that we're supposed to be trusting about,
the priests of the science ideology.
Exactly.
Lincoln Project is back in the news, everybody. Speaking of good guys.
Some people's favorite Republicans, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. They're the good ones. Rebranding, I guess, or just taking. They just have their sight sets on a younger
demographic.
Yeah, right? Younger demographic. Yep. The Franklin Project, going after children as young as 5 and 6, about the same age as the bodies found underneath Benjamin Franklin's house, I'd assume.
How many of those guys are not? How many of those guys are not allowed around children? You know what I mean? I'm not sure if they could even pull this off logistically. Like none of the board members, like a third of them, can't be in the same building.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. How is this allowed to happen? How is Lincoln Project anything? How is it? How are they even, could they fucking rebrand? Go as hard at these fuckers as the NRA,
Craziness. It's
put these motherfuckers down.
Insane to me. It's not.
Business as usual.
Do you think the right is keeping the Lincoln Project afloat at this point? Do you think they're surviving in the world of the right? I think they're being propped up by the moderate Democrats at this point.
So we started off with an earlier post about Biden sending more aid to Palestine. Well, guess I wonder how much of this 735 million in weapon sales to Israel is going to Raytheon. What do you think? Does Raytheon make Iron Dome missiles, or at least some components for it? I think I said that they're going to be selling them components to turn dumb missiles into smart missiles. I wonder if Raytheon has anything to do with that.
Right? Is that how much it costs to refill the Iron Dome? 735 mil?
They probably bought a surplus.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read into that and see exactly what they bought. Maybe they just sold all those weapons that they fucking took from what was it? The Qatari government? That weapon shipment they seized in the fucking, what was that, the Arabian Sea?
I had a red flag go off on Poso earlier today, calling Elon a scammer. I think he's showing his handler's colors right there. Showing his handler's hand.
What did Poso say here? Internet scammer Elon Musk hints on Twitter that Tesla may sell all of its Bitcoin holdings. This value tumbling 10%. Yeah. I kind of saw this coming when Tesla said that they were not going to accept Bitcoin anymore. They said that they were going to hold on to the Bitcoin they already had and just wait for them to improve their, I don't know, what was he bitching about? Carbon?
Yeah. Basically, yeah. That shit runs hot, man. When they mine it, it uses a lot of fucking energy.
Yeah, I could totally see that. But yeah, I kind of saw this coming, that he was going to sell off his position on it once he stopped using it. He's been in talks with Doge to develop a way to transact Doge.
Yeah, even cleaner, and it's already pretty clean. But I just the internet scammer line, I'm just like, really, bro? It's a bit much. It was a bit much.
It is. Poso's not always right, but don't test him on receipts.
He was shilling a couple other coins today too. One I've heard of. One isn't fucking even listed on a lot of fucking markets. Just like, everybody's trying to distort the market and distract. It seems to be that they're distracting everybody from fucking Doge and the game right now.
Yeah.
Everybody should be uniting everybody under this fucking thing that really can't be manipulated, as opposed to more division fucking politics.
Algorand is at net zero carbon.
There's a few of them that are.
We got a Fat Buckeye joining us in the waiting room. There he is. What's happening, Fat Buckeye?
What's going on?
Not too much.
Just living the dream.
Chilling, conversating.
I'm sitting here. I got, let's see if I have 217 gigabytes of 238 gigabytes on my computer used. I have 21.0 gigabytes free.
You got a lot of videos and pictures saved?
No. From documents, it's 34.4 gigabytes. I got 11.9 gigabytes of temporary files. I've got 2.47 gigabytes on my desktop. Apps and features, 120 gigabytes.
This is more Red's department than mine.
So,
But
I've got
a spare hard drive and get some space.
Yeah, that's what Murda just told me to do. I'm probably gonna go buy a new hard drive, put it in there. But like NVIDIA doesn't tell me how much it's using. Where was it? There was one that's like, I've got Java update that's using 107, and then a Java development kit that's using 309 megabytes. Elgato Stream Deck 234 megabytes. Elgato Game Capture HD 478 megabytes.
The pictures and videos, that's, you said you had like 34 gigs there. If you could store that on an external.
It's from games.
Oh.
When I go to view my documents, all I've got is Fortnite in my games, and then it's got Sid Meier's Civilization 5. So I don't even know why those would be on there. But yeah, that's those. It's. I don't have a bunch of pictures and stuff. I don't save pictures like that. I've got a 2 terabyte portable that I use for all my pictures and stuff. So, but I'm just. It seems like apps and features are taking up most of it. There was something on here that I saw that I was like, what is it? Microsoft Visual C++ has 4 different things in there.
Yeah, I literally have no idea. I rely on friends with better tech info than me to get through all of my tech needs.
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and get a new hard drive and put that in and go with that. But at the same time, I'm going to set up my other computer because like I don't want to do schoolwork and stuff like that on this computer. This computer is supposed to be just for gaming. So right now I'm doing everything off of it, and that's not what I want to do. I mean, I've got a MacBook Pro and a mini Mac, and what else do I have?
Be making movies,
school stuff. So this is supposed to be for gaming. Now it's going to be for gaming and streaming. Hell, Twitch Studio is 400 megabytes, and I don't even use the studio.
Delete that shit.
Streamlabs OBS is 461 megabytes. I don't use Streamlabs OBS.
Yeah, just delete all the stuff that you don't use that you downloaded. That should free up a little bit of room. But I just use a laptop for everything. So you're way ahead of me, fat Buckeye. What else we got here, Red?
We got Governor Cuomo coming this fall. You know, the peak of reading season, right after Hunter Biden's fucking memoir, his coffee table book, his Parmesan cheese fucking book. Governor Andrew Cuomo. Not
a review of pizza places.
Andrew Cuomo gets $5.1 million, way fucking more than his salary, to hopefully spill the beans on why he killed all those people, all those old people, why he just let them all die under his fucking watch.
Pretty sure that wasn't in the book.
This is a payoff, man. This is a fucking payoff for sure.
That reminds me. Do you remember a certain acquaintance of ours putting out a message about watch the book deals after this?
No
election?
shit.
Even though he was talking about when the Republicans win, what he really meant was, the trend in the book deals. That was already
money laundering and modeling contracts for unibrowed women, hairy armpits. Yeah, here's Dave Ponzi, man, picking a shit coin, and now he's gonna potentially run people into the fucking ground.
You don't like Portnoy?
I don't like what he's doing. I've liked him less and less over the last couple months, and now him doing this Safe Moon shit, I was like, yikes, man. He doesn't have his eye on the fucking ball at all.
he came out and announced that he's partnering with a crypto.
He's still
Today.
shilling for fucking Bitcoin, but yeah, now he's throwing his hat in the ring for this fucking coin, Safe Moon. And all I could, I just be careful, people. Hope all these frat boys with unlimited access to daddy's fucking accounts don't go too fucking crazy.
Let's see here.
And that about wraps it up for the news, man. Besides the Middle East about to blow up.
I
like
mean,
always.
the Middle East hasn't fucking stopped. It's not slowing down. But like we said earlier, maybe this is just at least the spin of it, at the very least, is going to end up being Israel is liberating the Palestinian people from Hamas.
Yeah, that's definitely
And-
not the spin going on
and
right now.
And we're going to build back better.
Has anybody noticed the sheer amount of fucking what seem like Palestinian bot accounts everywhere? Like millions everywhere.
But I mean, that's Twitter. The vast majority of fucking Twitter is
I
fucking.
mean, everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, every social media right now.
I mean, but you're talking about the telemarketing capital region of the world, so it's not too hard to believe that they have this technology and are quite good at it.
It's just a little sus to me.
Yeah, I mean, but you could tell that if you look at any sort of, I guess, what would be trendy news, you could see the bots. It's fucking
Yeah.
clear as day.
The sock puppets. There's Turbo. What up, Turbo? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Thanks for stopping through.
Why are my monitors blinking? I swear, this drives me nuts.
Well, Cerno was asking some interesting questions earlier about why now? Why are they turning on Bill Gates right now? His timing is everything. What did he not do, or what is about to come out in this fucking
Yeah, that's
this
what I'm
Epstein
thinking.
case? What's about to come out, and they had to fucking cut ties. His time in the spotlight is now up.
That's what I'm thinking, is that the next 6 months will be real telling, because she's getting estate lawyers and shit. She's taking him. There is no agreement between them two.
Yeah, I thought at the beginning of that they said that it was mutual split. It was
irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, but it was they were gonna split and everything was not contentious. Sounds like
out the window.
When you're getting lawyers, well, I mean you got to get lawyers involved regardless, but sounds like she's gonna take him to the freaking cleaners.
Yep, and that's what I mean. Maybe some more info has come to light.
The last straw was she woke up to Bill trying to fucking vaccinate her in her sleep.
Is it true about Bill Gates putting all his funds to wife? Like transferring his funds to his wife? I'm not sure. I didn't hear that at all. I know he's
just gonna go live on his vegetable beet farm.
He's gonna end up in a little wood shack in the woods with a 3D meat printer. Yeah, it's not from everything that I've read most recently. It looks like she's taking his ass. There will be no amicable split here. Which is kind of wild. Like, did they not have they've been married forever, right? So they probably haven't had a prenup.
No, I think they got married before he was
anything
their bill.
When he was still working out of the garage.
Yeah, he might have been like, oh, I'm just lucky to have a wife. It's all right.
I don't know, man. They're leaking all sorts of shit on him now of his naked sex parties and
what?
Yeah, who would have knew that little fucking nerd?
Thank God that that they didn't leak that fucking up until now.
Well, I don't know. If you watch Revenge of the Nerds, they got pretty crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
and he's from that era. So maybe when he got some money, he was living a dream.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
Hollywood dream.
he probably built one or two.
What's up,
They're
Sharon?
probably-
Oh, is that is that YouTube chat?
It's YouTube chat. I'm using StreamYard, so I could just pull up a chat from either YouTube
Okay.
or Twitch and throw it on screen.
So you're streaming on YouTube then?
Yeah, I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Red's streaming on Twitch as well.
All right.
Sharon's here, showing up with the hashtag Bill Gates is a perf. Yeah, I think Gates is about to go down too. Myself, I think that the next 6 months, some shit's gonna hit the news, and it might be that Epstein stuff, obviously, but naked sex parties? No way.
Yeah. No shit. Who could believe it?
Oh yeah, just the richest man in the world not having naked sex parties? Like, come on, guys. If I was in the top 10 on richest men in the world, it would be naked sex parties every day. I wouldn't even have to be there. It'd be hot tub streams. Axel Jordan, gang. What's up, pimps? What's happening, Axel? Welcome to the stream, my man. Thanks for coming through.
What up? Just taking in the demise of Bill Gates. Maybe I think Xbox is going to be real cheap in about 6 months.
Yeah. I think all the doctors are getting their 15 minutes. Dr. Biden, Dr. Fauci, Dr. Gates, all of them. They're just gonna run through them in the next 6 months, I think.
Well, hopefully they don't come after me. Twitch energy scientist. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm not a doctor, just a scientist.
I just play one on TV.
Yeah, we're just flying under the radar. Hopefully.
Last week on our stream, Buckeye, somebody came in chat and accused us of being Twitch energy. What was it?
Experts.
Energy experts on energy.
What?
Because we told them that, well, actually, what did I say? I called it a windmill instead of a wind turbine. I was like, come on, bro. Really? Nobody thinks that there's a grain mill underneath that big fucking fan, dude.
Oh my god. Wait a minute. They don't do anything to grind stuff?
No, man, there's no grinder.
Gears without lube.
I thought everywhere that had those, people were wearing wooden shoes.
Right? And there was bread aplenty.
No sauce lines.
Oh man, I don't care what anybody says about Chick-fil-A. If it's hateful, it's the most delicious hate I've ever had.
Still have not Chick-fil-A'd.
It gives me heartburn, so I got to stop, but it's good.
Is that the devil in you dying?
Yeah, exactly. It's the holy water that they mix into their bread, their buns. Yeah, man, it's wild. There's the whole Middle East thing. I'm waiting for that to pop up. I'm really hoping that Hezbollah doesn't get involved. I know Iran's trying to escalate on the periphery.
No. The world is safe again. We're in control, and this is just going to be a money-making opportunity for all the leaders. So don't worry too bad. Oh, so
Go ahead.
I got a comment. Somebody says they have a question for the panel.
Let's get it.
I'm very disturbed by the constant comparisons of the situation on the southern border to Nazi Germany and the Holocaust. Elected leaders, politicians have claimed that camps are like concentration camps and that they are being treated inhumanely like the Jewish and the extermination camps. My question is, why are people always comparing events, no matter how bad, to Nazi Germany? What is it about them specifically that people like to make comparisons to?
Well, I mean, that whole narrative about the concentration camps on the southern border, that shit disappeared in January. Nobody says that anymore, even though the situation hasn't changed. Nobody says that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that been said since Biden took office.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now they don't even call it an issue. They
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not a crisis.
Not a crisis.
Yeah. But not just, I mean, just to answer your question more directly, though, everybody compares things to Nazis because it's like the most emotional.
It's a
It
buzzword.
elicits the
Right.
emotional response that they're looking for. It's
Yeah,
the
right.
most disgusting thing you could think of. You know what I mean?
It's the new hard R.
Right? The new hard R. Wombat says, y'all spoke on the Scrotus
Mhm.
ruling about warrantless handgun searches. No, we haven't talked about any Supreme Court stuff going on. I know the Supreme Court just took up today
Yeah.
Mississippi's abortion laws.
Yes, indeed.
So there's going to be a lot of Supreme Court stuff. What was the ruling, Wombat?
At least some part of the government's actually fucking doing something.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy that it took a pandemic for people to realize that politicians, like, to actually make politicians do work? You know what I mean? Politicians, if you're paying attention, they're actually having to work through all this, even though, you know, a lot of it is just narrative based, not actual policy.
Just trying to be celebrities. We're still keeping up with Washington.
And they can't even handle it, man. They can't handle it. Actually having to work. Wombat says, I was cool with Chick-fil-A until they bent the damn knee.
What, for prayer?
Every Sunday. We're going to help bomb back better. Joe Biden, probably.
Well, Joe Biden, definitely. Business is a booming.
Right. I'm sure that we're going to have
America
some
is
government
back.
contractors over there, some engineering contractors helping with the Build Back Better after the bombs are done. You know, like Iraq and Haiti. I know a couple of families that got pretty rich off of the rebuild efforts in Iraq and Haiti.
But I mean, back to that though, too, man. Didn't Biden block 2 ceasefires during the fucking weekend? Like one during the week and one during the weekend, and then Monday morning, here's 735 fucking million in missile components.
I don't know.
I thought I saw that over the weekend. That
I don't know if he blocked anything. I know
the Congress. There was like 2 fucking calls drafted up for a fucking ceasefire, and he fucking and they were blocked.
And the one was blocked in the UN, I think, right?
Okay, so he's really only responsible for fucking one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I could be mistaken, but the only one that I heard of was the UN, the Security Council, that got blocked. Oh yeah, that was the one of the 2 big rulings that came down, that both came down unanimous, 9-0, which is pretty fucking impressive if you ask me. He said it was a 9-0 ruling against warrantless searches. I think it had to do with the Rhode Island case. I'm shocked it was unanimous. I mean, warrantless searches it's in the Constitution. You know what I mean? It should be unanimous. Don't do that. Business is a bombing.
Mm-hmm.
For real. Like I said, man, to me, it just seems like Bibi, when those rockets started coming in, Bibi Netanyahu had just decided once and for all, Hamas is going to be a thing of the past, and we'll move forward after that's done. You know what I mean? But if these other countries, I know Iran had a meeting in Syria with Assad about the situation, so who knows? It could go either way. It could settle down or it could fucking blow up.
Yeah, and that's when China makes its move.
Yeah.
On poor little Taiwan and little pieces of India.
I've been pretty consistent with being anti blowing up little brown children anywhere on the planet. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I'll stick with that, but it doesn't mean we can't comment on what's going on. You know what I mean? I just want to clarify that we're not for civilians dying anywhere. So what else? What's going on out there, chat? We got 9 people in the Twitch. We got a couple people in the YouTube, 7 in the YouTubes. Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to jump on panel? Anything you guys want us to talk about? I know the Mississippi thing will be pretty big. What is that? What does that do? It stops abortions after 15 weeks. I think that's what that Mississippi Supreme Court, them taking up that.
That's
what we could talk about. We could talk about Space Force.
pretty. I just think the timing is fucking excellent for a fucking abortion debate.
Yeah. I mean, not a whole lot going on in the world. Let's fire one off in domestic policy, huh?
Yeah, Space Force is it might be the start of something, but then again, I think we are still in the depths of the uniparty, and the military is being fortified, just like the election was. So this is more of the new normal.
Yeah.
You're not tolerant to Marxism. You don't belong here. Put your gold star mask on and get out.
Right. He became the #1 seller on Amazon though after he got fired with the book he wrote. I'm not sure how to say your name. Ilace 24. He says he, she, they say, what about Israel and Palestine? Basically, we've been talking about that the whole time.
Go to your rooms. Right. Stop.
Think about what you did.
I liked
come back when
I
you
like what
down.
Louis C.K. said on SNL in his monologue, where he compared the conflict to his daughters that share a bedroom.
Yeah.
That's enough. Go to fucking your rooms. Go to your room. Lay down in fucking bed. Enough.
It's such a deep fucking topic. You know what I mean? You can go 10 years ago. You can go to the 60s. You can go to the 48. You know what I mean? You can go biblical. You can go anywhere you want talking about Israel and Palestine. No matter what, if there is a terrorist organization in charge of the political landscape, they need to be removed, in my opinion, period.
Shit.
The Palestinian people can speak for themselves.
I might even go so far as to say is all governments are being run by terrorist organizations in one fucking form or another. I said it. Yeah, I said it.
Clip that shit. Wombat says, y'all heard anything else about the Arizona audit?
Nothing that I can stand on right now. I'm hearing a lot of rumblings and a lot of rumors, but it's all, I'm not seeing no real fucking movement.
I read that
no real receipts are coming out.
The message that Trump just put out about it, talking about how Arizona deleted an entire database that's supposed to be stored and kept, which is interesting. I'm not sure exactly about the details about that story. I still got to look into it. But for anybody to say that they're 100% confident that these numbers are going to match, it's like, no. Like I give it exactly a 0% chance that every number is exactly the way they reported it. There's an absolute 0% chance that that's going to happen. Now, you know what I mean? Whether it's enough or whether they find, anything else. I don't want to get too detailed here because we are still on a copyright strike warning. You know what I mean?
But yeah, as soon as we do hear something, we will definitely bring it to you guys.
Yeah. Mr. Wombat says, looks like Prawn Hub might be donezo. Apparently execs are trying to sell. Yeah, I could see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
They've been in the middle of some shit for the last fucking 12 months or so. They've been going after Pornhub for hosting illegal activity, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yep.
I'm cool with it. Get rid of it. Fuck it.
Yep.
I'm not one of the The Zoomers that are completely addicted to Prawn Hub and OnlyFans. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for
I
sure.
actually have regular interactions with humans.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it is just a means to be taken advantage of, honestly. And where there's a fucking will, there's a way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you give people an opportunity to fuck around like that. So they're gonna take that fucking chance.
Right. And let's not be naive. Like boobs will always find a way. It's not like porn or Prawn Hub. You know what I mean? It's not the only source of boobage.
I mean, content is content. People should be able to make money off of their content, but the verification and in that case is rather fucking important, you know.
Right. Yeah. Wombat says they can't pay their bills not taking credit card anymore. Yeah, that was the whole thing. They suspended anybody with an account that wasn't a verified account.
Is this payback for not deleting Hunter Biden's account?
I was gonna say that.
They didn't listen to the big guy, and now they're gonna pay.
Big guy didn't get his 10%, so they got to go bye-bye. Buckeye, oops, what'd you do, Buckeye? The link should still be good if you want to jump back in, man. Or if anybody wants to jump back in, just throw up the question mark or whatever. Spam one in chat, and I'll throw up a link if you want to join panel and bullshit with us. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about the take that the Space Force is a waste of money and we should not be spending that money and be spending it on the people at home?
I think that's an immature and that's a very fucking naive take. We were talking about it pre-show that we didn't just create a Space Force. You know, Trump didn't create Space Force. Trump let you know that we had a Space Force.
Right.
This shit, we've had this for a long fucking time, and you made the comment that China and Russia have one. So why the fuck would we not? Exactly. And as far as the side of the conversation, as far as we should be spending that money here, we were also talking about that pre-show about, you know, the money that we're spending now on both Palestinian aid and the money donated to Israel, as we could have done reparations 10 fucking times. At least that money would be spent here. But again, that we're not doing that. We're doing Pakistan gender studies, and I want a progress report. I want to see the report card on these fucking Pakistan gender studies.
Yeah, did that $95 million or whatever dollar amount it was that we sent to Pakistan? I want to see actual effects of that money. We need this. What's the problem with taking care of your home? Like in my just own personal opinion about everything, it's like you start in the room you're in. You know what I mean? And then you move on to your home, your entire home, and then you move on to your immediate neighbors, and then you move on to your block, and then you move on to your neighborhood. You know what I mean? That's how you actually affect change. If you want to affect change, you start small and work your way up once you fucking conquered the problem at hand. You know what I mean? Everything is so hyper focused on the Fed and our federal government. And it's like, we live in Chicago. People are getting murdered here in crazy numbers. You know, every weekend it's 45 people shot in Chicago. Every single weekend. I don't care about gender studies in Pakistan. I want more Chicagoans to live.
I care about the next time some China shit falls out of the sky. There's a Space Force to fucking knock that shit down, clean it up, you know?
Right. Lasso that shit and swing it out into space.
Yeah, I mean, I want Space Force to have its own Iron Dome technology, you know?
Right.
We have our Iron Dome for down here, and then we have one out there. Any of China's shit tries to fall down, or any asteroid, burnt up, blasted.
I mean, just
logistically,
like you said, we talked about pre-show Space Force. What if there is an actual big like shooting war breaks out again, and we don't have a Space Force, and we already know that they do. You know what I mean? Our adversaries, the two biggest other adversaries, at least I shouldn't say. You know, Iran probably doesn't have a space program that's viable, but just the logistical advantage of having a Space Force.
They got a couple telescopes.
Right.
That's their space program.
And I mean, there are like missiles that you could shoot from Earth to blow up satellites in space, but like, what really is how effective is that going to be if there's an offensive weapon in space? You know what I'm saying? Like they have like the rail guns basically, where they could just shoot a rail into the Earth. You know what I mean? Like, can you defend that with a missile from Earth? I'm not sure. And just the capability to be able to take out a fucking, like, hypothetically, a Russian or a Chinese satellite if we do go to war with one of those countries. Just the strategical advantage that we could have. It's absolutely asinine. It's like saying England has a great navy, so we don't need one.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Get the fuck out of here. And then people talking about like how a Space Force could help mine helium-3 from the moon and shit like that. It's like, are you serious right now? You think soldiers are miners?
Yeah.
Does the Navy mine the ocean? Does the Army mine? No, they're not miners. They're fucking soldiers.
They're
The
gonna be
Army Corps
making
of
sure that
Engineers
people put their
signed
hands on their
fucking-
own shit.
Exactly.
Basically.
They'll be protecting the fucking transports if that happens.
Yeah.
It's like such naive takes. It's like, man, yeah, we don't need it. We should spend it at home. Yeah, well, we agree we should spend it at home, but we do need that. So let's pull back some of this other fucking money we're spending all over the fucking goddamn globe. Okay, we need to take care of home, man. Everybody worried about fucking healthcare and expanding the social safety nets. Like, how is that feasible when we're fucking giving everybody everything all over the globe? When people are pushing for open borders in America, like how does it jive that you can give people universal health care and have open borders? It does not fucking work.
Yeah, no, that's a great argument. For me, I think space is a priority, and it should be a priority, not just for the sake of us letting this planet go to fucking shit, but as far as I think it's our responsibility to leave this fucking planet and to act as if we are the only intelligent life out there, and it is our responsibility to fucking spread the seeds of the earth. We are the seeds of the earth, and to spread life wherever the fuck we can.
And just like Sharon says here, or where was it at? Sharon says, I think we should have a cyber force as well. And I think
we do. I'm sure we do.
I think a lot of that is incorporated in the Space Force, their cybersecurity. I'm not exactly sure how it's broken down, but
yeah, it should be its own thing. I mean, it's frightening, but at the same time, they're already doing it anyway. There's already a man in your fucking phone. We know this. This is not a fucking conspiracy. So if they're gonna fucking do it, you might as well have some motherfuckers there like, all right, fuck it, whatever.
Right. And just to go back, that's your original point. Like, Space Force, we already had a Space Force, everybody. Trump announcing a branch of military being Space Force is just putting it on paper. That shit existed. You know what I mean? They just confirmed it to the world. That's all that happened. It was already there. It's not something new. It just went from black budgets to fucking open budget. And it's not like NASA's going to stop fucking trying to innovate using space. You know what I mean? They're still doing their thing. It's a completely different organization.
Yeah. But I mean, the other aspect of it too is it sort of is greener because we're not robbing the Earth's minerals anymore. We're taking the more or less infinite supply of minerals floating all around the Earth.
Yeah, it's not net zero though, just because of the fucking sheer amount of kerosene that it takes to take off.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Exactly. Barring some technological advance. And that's what I keep preaching to everybody, man. Everybody thinks we're just stuck in the mud right now. It's like we're not. It could change in the fucking blink of an eye. All it takes is one fucking lab experiment to make a mistake and come up with something that nobody even thought of. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Fucking plastic. Plastic is the perfect example.
Because the ideology of science told them, what are you doing fucking around with that? Don't waste your time with that. And that's what's holding us fucking back. The people putting their blind faith into these fucking priests of fucking science. Question everything, you know. Find out for yourself. See for your fucking self is what I say. Right. Show me. Don't tell me. Show me.
Critical thinking is not the same thing as critical theory.
Yeah. No theories.
No theories allowed. But yeah, I'm all for Space Force. All for it. If it gives us a strategic advantage, I'm fucking for it. Period.
It's gonna happen. Corporations are gonna go out there. There's gonna be fucking Planet Starbucks. It's going to happen sooner rather than later. The Space Force was a thing long before, this new space race fucking happened. Long before Elon started talking about Mars, we had the Space Force then. Hidden in the mountains of Colorado. Yep. I don't know if anybody's seen Stargate, but the place where the film where they show the tunnels and the fucking the base, whatever that they used in the movie in the show, that's a real fucking place. And yes, that is Space Force now. But it's real. It's always been fucking real.
Right. There was a division of the Air Force that rocked a shoulder patch that said "We own the night," and it was a picture of the Earth with a satellite going around it. Mm-hmm. So, if anybody's wondering, there's research that you can find these things.
One of my favorite patches is it's in Latin, but what it comes out to is "All your base are belong to us," and it's a fucking pretty fucked up dragon.
That's pretty cool.
Up in space, I think it's like overlooking the Earth. It's pretty sick. Yeah.
Kevin says Pizza Planet from Toy Story.
Yep.
If we're talking about planets, Planet Hulk is definitely my go-to. Here's something we didn't talk about yet. What do you take of Fauci saying that 40 to 50% of the CDC employees are refusing the vaccine?
I believe it. It doesn't surprise me at all. I'm just surprised that they let it out.
Yeah.
But this is exactly why. This is exactly why I have my stance on it, and I won't be a part of the fucking experiment. I didn't need these 40 people as reassurance. I didn't need to hear that. But I was like, fuck, all right, at least not there's more smart people left in this country than I was thinking a few days ago.
How's that for mixed messaging? You know what I mean?
These are the type of people that can't be bribed with fucking donuts and lottery fucking entries for a couple $1 million. Yeah, no, I like my health. Thank you.
What's the saying? Trust the experts. Is that the saying?
And we're investing in my my liquid gold. Gonna hold on to that. Sitting on some liquid gold over here.
I just look at Pizza Planet and I just think of Jabba the Hutt or Pizza the Hutt from Spaceballs. He ate himself. What else do you think, man? What other hot button issues are there? There's the whole trans debate, which, I think you and I have agreed that we should just firmly declare that we don't give a fuck and then move on to the next subject whenever it comes up. There's really nothing more to be said about the whole trans rights debate. We agree. You are a human. We don't care. Next.
Dave Ponzi's going nonstop. He wants to be Elon so bad. It's kind of sad. his ego is hurting so fucking bad right now. He's acting like a little child right now, making fucking crying videos and shit.
Yeah. I kind of like Dave Portnoy just in general, him as a person. I'm not so sure about his
I did,
what
but
he's
it's been
doing, but
less and less, man. He's been posting more and more dumb shit where I'm seeing through his fucking veil.
Ooh,
He's just a little greedy bastard.
here's
Like
some
all the
breaking
rest.
news.
He's
Developing
projecting
story.
on Elon, and that's why he doesn't understand. He
Here's
can't
a
get it.
developing story right now. Wall Street Journal says Bill Gates left Microsoft board amid probe into prior affair with staffer.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. Just one?
Developing story. How long ago did he step down from the Microsoft board? 2013.
Spain mobilizes army after the irregular entry of more than 5,000 Moroccans in 24 hours.
Mobilizes the army. Morocco.
The autonomous city of I can't pronounce it. I don't want to butcher it. Ceuta. Seems like they're being invaded by Moroccans.
Or is that Moroccan army or just Moroccan
just
refugees? Like, so to speak, I said, I guess.
Who can tell at this point, because they're not, who can say, who knows? Nobody knows, just people. But invaders nonetheless, right? They weren't invited.
They came from over there. We know
For
that.
lack of a better term, they weren't invited. They weren't announced. Let's not beat around the fucking bush here.
And so it begins.
The fucking jargon and semantics.
Who in Europe actually has a decent army at this point? Like France has a decent army. Germany doesn't have any army. I think France has a decent army. Obviously, Britain.
Bunch of
UK.
clean guns that have never been dropped yet.
Yeah. You see their tanks? They look like Lego creations.
The tanks have rear view mirrors so they can see the battlefield.
See if they can see the action. Yeah. How about all the apologists? Obviously, whenever we talk about the French military, there has to be a surrender joke. Obviously, it's like internet law. But the people that are saying that, they were able to field an army because they fucking ran away. Like, yeah, that's true. I guess. What I mean? If that's the way you want to look at it, I mean, I guess. They're lucky they were able to fucking get out of there and go to England, I'd imagine, then, aren't they?
There'd be no croissants.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that as well. I'm gonna write a note right here to look at just the military sizes in Europe right now.
Figure out who else has a space force.
Yeah,
the big three. The big three do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, China and Russia actually work together. You know what I mean? So it's like the big two at this point.
Well, remember, Russia bad, China good. The good communists.
Yeah, not Russia bad always. Russia communism bad. Chinese communism good. Mr. Wombat says, my local Walmart put up a sign stating vaccinated people don't have to wear a mask. That's a slippery slope, in my opinion. I mean, that's CDC guidelines now. That's what they announced, right? If you're vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. But they also announced that Bill Maher got COVID after being fully vaccinated. Yeah. So, I mean, lucky for me, I didn't give a fuck what they told me I needed to do this entire time. I think I put on a mask like 3 times in the last year. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's my go-to. Someone says, you must do this. Fuck you. That's what I always go to. That should be the Americans' response to any demands on their actions.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that Bill Maher getting COVID again. Yeah, they've been saying it the whole fucking time, that vaccine does not protect you against COVID. It does not. Does not protect you against getting it again.
Right.
They've been honest. One of the few things that they've been honest about the whole fucking time, and they haven't switched up on.
Right. They say that it will lessen your reaction if you get it again. You'll be more likely to live through it, apparently.
Yeah, so that means it's only going to kill what 0.5% of vaccinated people
Right.
instead of the 1% of fucking regular people, the less than 1%.
I mean, my take has always been that COVID is a thing now, and it was a thing before this current form of COVID. You know what I mean? It's here. It's among us. It's going to be among us.
It was on the back of the Lysol bottles before 2020. It was already on the back of Lysol bottles.
Right. Wash your hands.
Yeah. That's it. Wash your fucking hands. Cover your fucking mouth. Should have been doing this already. But we know about the broken homes. We know about that. There's a lot of kids out there that have been raising kids for fucking generations. So, all right, we put everybody on timeout. Everybody should know by now to wash your fucking hands. That should be way more important than whether you're wearing a mask or not. Is your fucking hands clean? The secret police out there checking
out of the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. You guys want to do fucking vaccine checkpoints and shit? Now put somebody outside the fucking bathrooms and make sure these motherfuckers are washing their hands.
COVID checkpoints outside of bathrooms and all fucking public
any sink.
I've been thinking about this. Like,
you see a sink, you wash your fucking hands. It's the rules.
For sure. If there's one in iShot, it's available. For the people talking about mask mandates, I think, like, what would this be most comparable to? It wouldn't, like, you know, like the seatbelt, maybe, where it's safer for the other driver if you're in a seatbelt because you can maintain control of your car better, maybe, but we all know that's not why seatbelt laws are laws. I would think that the best comparison to a mask mandate by the government would be like mandating condoms. You know what I mean? We don't know if you have a transmissible disease, but just in case you might, you must wear a condom. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. A condom, still says it's not 100% fucking protect you against contracting a fucking STD anyway.
Exactly. So that would be the most apt comparison that I've heard or that I've thought of so far. And that shows you how fucking idiotic the idea is.
I used that same comparison when they started talking about doing vaccinated and non-vaccinated seating sections at places. I said, why didn't we do this for HIV?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What's really fucking going on here, man?
And it's based on the premise that not that somebody is like has the disease that's contractable. It's just the possibility that they might. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're assuming that everybody that's not vaccinated is a carrier, basically.
Yeah, I mean, here in Chicago, if I'm walking up to somebody, whether they got a mask on or not, I'm worried about getting fucking robbed. I ain't worried about this fucking virus.
Especially if they're wearing a mask.
Exactly. You're wearing a fucking mask, like shit, no face, no case, and I'm looking at you. I don't give a fuck what color of you are. It's nothing personal. It's just Chicago. It's business, baby. It's the Wild West out here.
Much like Israel, I'm more concerned with my defense.
And I definitely am of the thinking, the psychological effects of having a fucking mask society, taking away that interaction with people. It definitely it leads to caveman shit, basically, more or less. There's no fucking empathy. Everybody's you're afraid of everybody. It's a fucking sort of a way. It's just like another means of control, basically. It's a way for them to fucking divide, another means of division.
Yeah, another way to separate the person from interactions, actual person-to-person interaction.
A smile goes a long way. It could, completely change your day, and they're taking that from you. A simple thing like that.
Right.
Now, suddenly everybody's a suspect. Everybody's possibly your enemy.
Mr. Wombat says, I don't even see a point of a sign like that. You might as well lift the mandate. Who's going to be brave enough to ask customers for their vaccine papers? Well, yeah,
they're out there.
That's exactly where the issue arises, though, because HIPAA laws if you work for that establishment, you're not allowed to ask people about their health history. That's
Yeah,
against the
for
law.
sure. Yep.
So
Amen. That's exactly where that's where it's going to get scary. That's
Yep.
exactly where it's going to get scary. And then they're going to start having the police having access to your fucking health records. It's going to be public fucking knowledge, apparently. And that's when the mask really does become the yellow star.
Yep.
But now it's you have to put this fucking on, and we know you do. But I like I said, just give me the reservation. Give me the send me to the non-vaccinated ghetto, and I guarantee you,
Send us there
the
first,
best will be
please.
made of it. Yeah, the best will be fucking made of it. I'm more than willing to fucking take my reservation land and live prosperously.
Right. We've been on the fence about the peaceful divorce, but if this is the option we're given, we'll take it. Sharon says, "Are you guys suspicious of how quickly the mandates were lifted?"
Oh, absolutely. I told my communist friends on Facebook, as soon as Joe Biden was elected, the narrative switched immediately on this COVID shit, and they started talking about how things are going to start opening up this summer. And I was like, wow, look at that. It's happening. It's going to happen. I've been watching since Biden put his hand on that old Necronomicon.
I called that shit.
And now it's just a convenient, the time was right because they needed to get back to division. There was way too much shit going on around the world, with Israel, and so hey man, we're gonna pay these guys. We're gonna send more money this way. We got to get these people's eyes on something else.
Yeah.
Start the division politics. Fauci, tell him the pandemic's racist.
Fauci, we need you again. No, you're not going to baseball stadiums this year. Here's your press release. Make it sound as believable as possible. And if anybody asks questions, just revert back to your original answer on question 1. That was good. Last time we streamed, we showed the Rand Paul and Fauci interaction on Capitol Hill. And he completely ducked and used ignorance.
He definitely a way that doctors, lawyers speak as well. They divert, masters of diversion.
Right. We don't do gain of function therapy. Well, your head scientist is the foremost leading expert in gain of function therapy. Yeah, but that's not what we pay him for. I mean, okay. Do you know what they were doing in China? No, we don't know. We just give them money. We tell them not to do gain of function. We don't know if they do, though. Get the fuck out of here. I'm so sick of Fauci. I can't wait till the bridge he's on erupts.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking who's going to be next after Bill Gates. It's not going to be Cuomo since he just got that fucking book deal, so he's in for now.
It should be Cuomo. Cuomo should have been gone already. As far as even Matt Gaetz is like, fuck it. If there are credible allegations against anybody of a fucking sexual nature with minors, done. Like, get rid of them. Fucking tar and feathers, send them out of town. I don't even care if you like him. You know what I mean? Just gone. Like, I kind of liked Matt Gaetz until all this shit came up. I don't even know if it's true. I know there was a blackmail fucking scheme all intertwined, but who cares at this point? Fuck them. You know what I mean? Anybody that's vaguely connected to any kind of fucking illegal activity, especially regarding children, gone. Don't care. Do not give a fuck. Sharon checks in with a arrest Fauci. That would be fucking poetic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I literally do hope that the bridge he's standing on, it just explodes out from underneath him. You know what I mean? All the narrative.
Well, we'll see if Bill Gates talks or if see if he goes after anybody.
Yeah, I mean, the Ghislaine Maxwell's trial is still rolling along, you know what I mean? And obviously Bill Gates is connected. We don't know if he's involved, but he's definitely connected. I hope everybody that's involved goes down. I'm not even joking. I don't give a fuck if I endorse them. You know what I mean? If it comes out, tar and feather and send to the gulag as far as I'm concerned. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, just lock them all on that island, and that's it. A couple guards and boats to make sure none of them swim away, and they just stay there until they're not there anymore.
Yeah, they already filled in the tunnels with concrete, right? So
Sure.
I'd like to see the video of the concrete trucks on an island in the fucking Bahamas. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's a boat in that case. Do they have concrete boats? So yeah, we kind of started off talking about that, Sharon, about how we're suspicious with the mandates lifting at this particular moment, with the pipeline being scamwared and the Israel-Palestine conflict and all that going on, and us sending hundreds of millions of dollars across the world again.
The jobs report.
Yeah, jobs report's huge. It's like the first jobs report came in, and it's like, look, Biden administration, we told you it would work. Look, this is all us. And then the next month comes out, and it's like, oh, Trump, fucking Trump. It's all Trump's fault. It's like, come on, man. Can't do that. You know better than that. Once you claim it's yours, it's yours. That's how it works.
Anybody see anything about the possible China's Mars landing being faked?
No, I didn't hear it faked at all. I heard that they landed, though. They landed a rover.
Think that thing's gonna accidentally get tipped over one of these days. There's gonna be an unfortunate collision between between Curiosity.
Right? What's the Robot Wars? Is that the show where they have the robots fighting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's gonna turn into an episode of Robot Wars. Fucking big ass axe comes flying out of the Curiosity rover. Two robots enter. One robot leaves. That right there goes to show you that the technology is not ours. You know what I mean? If you think that China doesn't have a space force, quotation marks, they just landed on Mars. It's not just us with this technology, guys. Yeah, but we shouldn't spend that money in space. We should give everybody health care.
I believe you can do both. I'm of the firm belief you definitely could do both. There's the way that they're printing money, for one.
I'm not against expanding social safety nets, you know what I mean? But the ones that we already have need some reform, and you have to do it along the lines of the Constitution. You can't just fucking, executive order that shit. There is a process, and if that process isn't maintained, then I have a problem with it.
What do you think of getting rid of what's it called? Like the natural born rights to America, where everybody has to earn their citizenship?
Well, like what was it? The Space Marines? What was that?
But that would sort of just lead down the lines of America being fucking literally American Idol, and you'd have to audition for your spot in America. That probably wouldn't work well for anybody.
Yeah. That was, what was that? That was service earned citizenship. That was from that space movie, the Space Marines. I can't remember the name of the movie. I'll think of it. It's with the arachnids, the spider aliens that we were fighting.
Oh, was that fucking Starship Troopers?
Yeah, Starship Troopers. That's what basically that's how their government was formed. Service earns citizenship. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just the conversation about your personal rights, your individual rights and freedoms. Even to conversate, even to like acknowledge the conversation is to me almost inherently admitting that the government gave you those rights. And that's not true. The government did not give you those rights. Those rights you were born with.
Yeah.
So for everybody, I warn you, do not, my personal rights are not up for a vote, period. You know what I mean? You cannot vote away my rights. I will not fucking stand for it. And don't allow the government to talk you into believing that the government gave you those rights, that they afforded them to you. It's not the case.
For some people, groups of people, it is literally the case, but it's still not the case, and it never should have been the case.
Right, right. That's where I'm at. So what else do we got out there? Did we miss anything that you guys wanted us to talk about? Anything anybody out there wants to argue with us about? I want to meet somebody.
That Space Force guy's book is now a #1 bestseller on Amazon.
Yeah,
So
they were completely sold out, and they were still accepting orders though. So they're gonna print a ton of those books.
I think it's interesting to think about as far as who the majority and who the minority are in this country, you know, and it's pretty crazy to go, you know, from virtually unknown to a fucking bestseller in a fucking day.
Right. And what are the top 3? What was it? It was that guy's book. The
other one was Levine's book, fucking on Marxism,
Levine's
which
book.
I might pick up.
And then the third one was a Dr. Seuss book, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
If that tells you where the majority actually lies. I think lefties just talk a lot and they like hearing themselves talk. So they think that they're at, you know, the echo chamber that they're in with 12 other lefties, that signifies where the country lies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I might pick up that Levine book because I'm almost done with my Lenny Bruce book. It's been a good fucking read for damn sure, man. And he there was basically a portion where the author was talking about Lenny Bruce that I was reading yesterday, and basically saying, you know, like as wild as he was, like into fucking drugs and shit like that, he was actually a fucking conservative. And like when he was on trial, he like related more with the prosecution and the cops than with the long-haired people in the crowd that were there to support him and shit. And he goes so far as to say that satirists are conservative by nature, and there's, you know, basically just, you know, making a mockery of fucking, you know, cultural fucking crimes and shit like that.
Left can't meme, bro. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, and I think that goes in, you know, you could point that to Joe Rogan as well, as I think it's a perfect example of that.
Yeah. For sure. Naturally conservative.
It's something about the way that those people, those minds work, you know, and it's also ties into, you know, how we were talking about the people on the right may be happier. Well, it's because they're satirists, you know. You could be sitting there literally sitting in shit, but crack a joke about it, you know.
Yep.
And point out, you know, make sure everybody knows that we are, you know, you got the people that, you know, we're not in shit. This is great. No, we're in shit.
Right. Even when you think about content creators, it's like a lot of people are really into the informative, dry, information heavy content creators. You know what I mean? But the most popular are always going to be the ones that are actually having fun and that their audience can see them enjoying themselves. You know what I mean? That's the most attractive as far as content creators, I think. That's why I love to meme. I love laughing and I love fucking roasting people. It's like I find personal pleasure in that. You know what I mean? And the left can't meme. It goes so much deeper. This just goes right along with that idea. You know what I mean? That the comedians are naturally conservative because the left can't meme. You know what I mean? That's the one battle in the culture war that we are winning, that you could almost say that we have already won, is the meme war. Now we just got to get the right to actually put together some fucking policy, to push that draws people in. You know what I mean?
The meme war just jumped to the stock market. It's Elon Musk versus everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. How'd you like my comparison to Trump's Twitter with when you put up that thing in the Discord talking about how Twitter has gone mainstream with the fake tweet that they're gonna send in ground troops and then bombing the shit out of the tunnels.
Oh yeah. It was a pretty fucking funny move, man.
Genius, absolutely genius, because they were getting hammered on their civilian casualties. So what they did was not just a troll, not just a trap, but it actually saved civilian casualties.
It was a troll trap.
Troll trap. That's what I said. The legend of El Naranja lives on. It was the troll heard round the world.
Definitely. It was a hell of a move.
Wombat says Fauci is an evil goblin and a fraud. Someone should give that dope a golden syringe to go chase off of a cliff. I'd rather see him publicly humiliated myself.
But I don't know. You make him run off the cliff just to see if he stretches his bat wings and flies away.
Right? Wombat says meme war victory is great, but we do need more conservative platforms to fight back in the culture war. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I started restreaming onto Twitch, because Twitch right now is, in my opinion, is basically like 80% controlled by the left and even the far left. You know what I mean? This politics community on Twitch itself is dominated by lefties. So that's part of the plan here, Wombat. We're injecting ourselves into the conversations about politics that we were dismissed out of hand in for the last whatever, few years.
We're here for the debate, if that's what it's going to be. We're here for the trolls because we know we're going to have to be.
Oh yeah.
We will not go quietly into the night, and we will not give anyone the satisfactory of banning them or muting them or any of that unless they break terms of service.
Yep. Yeah. By the way, let me go ahead.
For it, all of it.
I'm gonna throw up the Discord link in both.
Troll trap. Was that 4 or 5?
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna link to our Discord. This is the Chords V Plugs Discord. We call it the public square because that's what we plan on using it as. It's an invite only club at this point, but it's not closed to other people's views. You know what I mean?
So here's Dave Ponzi, Stool Presidente, valid, basically explaining his Safe Moon decision. Let me say this about Safe Moon. I have no clue who the founders are. I wasn't paid to promote it. I have no clue whether it's the next big thing. I wanted to dabble with a shit coin and I picked one. That's it. I wanted one not on Coinbase or Blockfolio yet. So that's his logic, because it's not listed by any reputable dealers yet. He should go for it. That's
at least
probably
he explained
not
himself.
That's yeah, I know. I knew that, but all these fucking frat idiots are gonna lose a lot of daddy's money following this fucking idiot off that cliff that Fauci should be running off, according to Wombat.
I agree. I completely agree that this isn't the right, in my opinion, not the right move for our boy Cornholio, but
Actually,
at least he explained it and didn't just pick a team and then roll with it. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
That's what I like to see out of everybody, basically. That's that shit I do like.
That link didn't go through. I'm gonna see if I can post it.
Yeah, anybody that's
I can't paste links.
you probably got it in your settings, in your actual Twitch settings.
Yeah.
You got banned from Discord? I think you're the first one I've met that's been banned from Discord individually. I know some people have gotten their Discords banned, but I'm banned from Twitter, never to be seen or heard from again in the Twitter sphere. We need more Tim Pools and daily callers. Even though Tim isn't conservative, he's creating his own platform to offer an alternative. Same with DC, creating new shows, films, news outlets. Oh yeah, I completely endorse and back the Daily Caller making their own media, making movies and short films and stuff like that, because that's where the next front is going to be. I also watch Tim Pool, but I guess I'm more reserved as to my judgment of Tim Pool. I really like the guests he has on, and that's basically why I watch the Tim Pool IRL. And I do watch it almost every day. There's a couple I'm behind on a couple at this point, but for probably the last year or so, I've been caught up and keeping up with Tim Pool.
Yeah, I guess I'd put him in the category of somebody to keep your eye on, but not to watch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm on the fence. I obviously he pushes some things that I don't agree with, and I'm cool with that. Everybody has their own personal ideas, you know what I mean? Even me and Red, we don't agree on everything. That's the way it should be, though. You know what I mean? But I really do like the guests he has on. Tim has done a really good job of keeping that high quality, as far as I'm concerned. Even as far as having Destiny and Vosh on. Like, I absolutely detest Vosh. I hate that dude. Like, I'm not a fan at all. But I appreciate him being on the platform, you know what I mean? So that he could espouse more of his views that I don't like, that more people can hear them. Wombat says, appreciate you guys fighting the good fight, especially on Twitch. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I've been like heavily involved in the Twitch politics for the last month or so. I was telling Red that this is where I've been spending a lot of time, and I've been literally going into chats and arguing with people as much as possible, because I don't agree with a lot of these lefties. And they're all like, a lot of the lefties on Twitch are very, very highly educated. You know what I mean? Even so far as highly informed, but that doesn't mean that their takes are right. And we have to talk about some things. We have to actually engage in discussion. Even if it is just a meme war, you know what I mean? Even if I'm memeing and there's a fucking far righty memeing at the same time, it's like, that's where the points are going to come across.
Yeah. I think it goes back to into that, not just the cancel culture aspect, but, you know, people rolling their eyes when they say, you know, you want to look into it for yourself. That just putting faith into the ideology of whatever, of education or of science, whatever they're telling you to just shut up and believe today.
Right. Oh, I have this NPR article that proves you wrong. Excuse me. You know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. How about this government study that says the exact same opposite? Like the exact opposite of what you're saying.
I've got a returner in my chat. He says, what is it you're looking into? It could be anything. Anything that you don't necessarily...
Question everything.
This virus, multiple fucking aspects of it. Is it airborne? Fucking, does the masks do anything? Now is the vaccine worth a risk? Am I worth putting my health on the roulette table to be a part of a fucking, you know, an experimental vaccine experiment? But now, I mean, you just got in here, so I guess got to tell you that now I'm just banking on the price of unvaccinated sperm to skyrocket in 5 to 10 years. I'm sitting on liquid gold. I'm not getting that shot now.
Mr. Wombat says, yeah, Tim is absolutely a fence sitter, which makes many of us on the fence about him. However, I agree with you both. We need a platform to be able to hopefully reasonably discuss different ideas. Yeah, and it's really easy to tell when people are bad faith. You know what I mean? Really easy. Especially on Twitch, because people, you know, they go live and they stream for 7, 10, 12 hours at a time. It's like over that span of time, you're gonna parse out what people generally think about any subject that they're talking about. You know what I mean? I've been really enjoying my time on Twitch, and I've been, you know, working towards becoming a member of the community, not just jumping in, trolling, and leaving. You know what I mean? I'll jump in and troll a lefty, but then as soon as they respond with some actual good faith argument, then I'll stay and I'll engage in it. You know what I mean? Obviously, I love the troll. I love the meme. I love fucking talking shit. It's just one of those things, you know. I'm a gamer. If you don't know how to talk shit, you might as well not be a gamer. You know what I mean?
We got this. I guess we got some troll comments. Basically, we're getting back into this same old shit. Basically, says
waiting.
why not? What aspects? You know, ask a doctor. If you're ambitious, go see a chemist or a virologist. Unless you think they're deliberately trying to dupe you. But back to this vaccine garbage. I says it isn't a conventional vaccine for one. Name a conventional vaccine. Well, all of them, like the polio vaccine, a vaccine that gives you a small sample of the virus that helps your immune system. Your immune system conquer this thing, and then you beat it, and then you're immune to it. Unlike this RNA experiment where it's basically rewriting your DNA, only it doesn't even do what it's supposed to do. It doesn't protect you at all. It just minimizes the symptoms next time you do eventually catch it. So does that wrap that up? What does the term conventional vaccine mean? I think I covered that.
Yeah, this vaccine is an RNA vaccine. Conventional vaccines give you a less lethal, I guess, a less, you know, less powered form of the vaccine. So your immune system builds up.
Yes, I did.
Spike protein.
Says he thinks I made that term up. I did. I probably did make the term conventional vaccine up because.
Yeah, but I mean,
I needed to explain.
Semantics.
I needed to differ exactly. This is word salad. I needed to differentiate the difference between a vaccine that gives you, once again, that gives you a small portion of this virus to boost basically teach your immune system how to fight for itself and to conquer this thing, right, as opposed to this.
Like I said,
RNA.
to the person asking about this vaccine. Look at the coronavirus itself and look at the junction, the S2 and the S1 junction. Look at that closely. And then look at the spike protein CGGG that is present in the coronavirus. And you tell me how that's possible in nature. I mean, it is possible in nature, but tell me how that's what we ended up with as opposed to a different spike protein. It's real simple to me. I mean, Sharon says, I read on Twitter that Orange Man is starting his own social media platform on July 4th. Orange Man back. The Legend of El Naranja.
Oh, so now we're going into its man-made weapon territory. Well, we're suggesting that it should be investigated and that the lab leak theory is more and more viable by the day.
It was dismissed out of hand, and it deserves investigation at the very least. At the very least. I mean, are you denying that gain-of-function research exists, that it has been happening for the last 10 years? You know what I mean? Are you denying that gain-of-function virus testing exists?
Lab leak theory is as credible as aliens in Area 51. We should go back to the very start of this stream when we started with the New York Times article talking about more and more scientists saying that we need to look at the lab leak theory.
Yeah. You remember your comment where you said if you want to get even deeper, you look at virologists? Well, the one of the virologists that signed this paper earlier this week is from Stanford University, one of the head virologists at Stanford, that said that the WHO dismissed the lab leak theory out of hand without sufficient investigation, and it remains a viable theory.
He says, name one. Name a virologist. What's his name and what did he say?
Check it right here. I'll find it for you. I have no problem.
We're here for it. Receipts.
I just stated what he said. He said that the WHO, and it wasn't him, it was 18 of the world's experts in virology signed this letter saying that the WHO dismissed the lab theory out of hand without sufficient investigation, meaning that it still remains a viable theory to the origin.
Yeah.
Not saying that it is or that it absolutely was, but that it remains a possibility.
And let's not forget, it's not like China let the UN or the WHO in immediately to see what the fuck was going on. They waited a whole year for the Musketeers to fucking scrub everything up and to get into place for their performance. He wants to see his quote.
The Stanford University microbiologist and virologist name is David Relman, DavidRelman. It isn't a quote, it's a study or a letter that is signed by 18 microbiologists and virologists from all over the world. I mean, here, I'll even find a fucking a source that you will believe in. Do you need like a New York Times or a CNN?
Yeah,
source?
I got one of those. I'm bringing up the one from my Twitter earlier that I could fucking share screen on.
It remains a viable theory right now. So for you to say that it's equivalent of aliens, that means that you are not well read on this subject and you need to research more for yourself, which was our original point that you disagreed with.
Low information voters are way more of a threat to this country than white supremacists.
Yeah, pandemic level. Let's get back to our viewers here. Mr. Wombat says, I'm cool debating, listening to lefties who bring actual receipts to the convos. We should be having civil discussions and debates. That's what we're supposed to do. Yeah, I agree.
Screen up.
Yep.
So there you go. Another one. Oh, he found it. It's New York Magazine. He's going.
It's everywhere. It's New York Magazine. It's Daily Caller. It's the Sun. It's the fucking Enquirer. The New York Post. It's everywhere. It's not just one fucking. The letter was not written to the media.
So he has a quote here that says the WHO China investigation also concluded that it was extremely unlikely. But
yeah, the WHO.
We know that's what they concluded. We know that. That's the only quote you fucking took from it.
So that's what you're saying?
That's the only quote, and that's what you're standing with. Well, there's nothing to see here. Don't investigate. Trust them.
The 18
I'm glad
people
you have faith.
The 18 people that literally wrote the letter said the WHO dismissed it out of hand and didn't investigate it enough. That's the whole point of the letter. See, Wombat, this is what I was just about to talk about with the debating and listening. Like, there's two types of people on Twitch, and this has become extremely clear to me over this last month being in this community, that there's the debate bros that only care about winning an argument. That's all they care about, is winning the argument that they're having in a debate, winning the debate. And there's another type that actually wants to have a conversation, but they just get destroyed by the debate bros because all the debate bros want is to have a debate. You know what I mean? There are conversations to be had, and I've been trying to have them, but those conversations are only between moderates of both sides. You know what I'm saying? It's the people that are in the center already that are willing to have those conversations.
Only 4 of the 313 pages of that report and its annexes address the possibility of a laboratory accident.
Right. So the WHO in 4 pages decided that the lab leak is not good enough when the entire report was 200-page report.
They're 113 apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Wombat says echo chambers, left or right isn't the way. I like to believe we can come to a reasonable middle ground or disagreement on just about anything. Yeah, and I think that's where the agreeing to disagree doesn't really happen. You know what I mean? It's just dunk fest, blood sports. Whoever gets the most dunks and makes the other person sound the dumbest, they win, even if their takes are shit. You know what I mean?
So if only a small portion, only 4 pages mention the possibility of lab leak. Maybe weaponized leak.
Yeah,
maybe that is the more likely fucking scenario there.
Or just maybe the investigation into the lab leak wasn't sufficient.
Like I said, they waited a whole year to go over there when all the Mouseketeers had scrubbed it and they were all in place for their performance. I mean, every single one of those words.
Right. There you go, Wombat. If you don't know how to talk shit, stay off the interwebs. This ain't for rookies. Exactly. You have it, and that's the like the most valued asset in a streamer is being able to fucking dunk. That's what it seems like. I'm about it.
Yeah. So the last quote he just shared, it said that the laboratory escape could not be ruled out. And that's all we're saying is that it cannot be ruled out. It should not be ruled out. And more information is needed. More investigation is needed, not just by the World Health, the UN's World Health Organization. In my opinion, it should be a multinational fucking investigation and give me all the information and I'll take it all in and I'll decide for myself what the fuck I believe as usual.
That was exactly our point the entire time, is that the lab leak needs to be investigated fully. You're the one that came in here and said lab leak is equivalent to aliens. So go ahead. You know what I mean? Stay on your high horse, but we're looking down at you from the top of the hill is all I'm saying.
Word.
Mr. Wombat, I'm done arguing with people about the CV vax. Yeah, I agree. It isn't regulated. It isn't CV proof. It isn't conventional. Get it or don't. It's a choice. The vaccine crowd have become the new vegan CrossFitter.
Militant vegans, man.
For real.
We talked about militant vegans in a way early episode.
For sure. I totally agree with you, Wombat. It's not even an argument. It's like there's only two things going on here. There's one side that's talking about mandating it. To that, I say, fuck you. The other side is personal choice. And to that, I'm with it. You know what I mean? There's only really two sides to this argument. And one is illegal. But I totally agree that the vaccine vaxxers have become the new vegan CrossFitters or keto diet people. Like if you walk into a bar with a vegan CrossFitter and somebody on the keto diet and a fucking CV vaccination shill, you're not going to be able to talk at all. Not low information voters, call them low IQ voters.
Well, that's probably the vast majority at this fucking point.
See, I'm not even sure about that. I tend to think it's the midwits. It's the people with the 115 IQs that think they know every fucking thing. Those are the people that are causing the most problems, I think. It's the middle of the pack that think that they're fucking smarter than they really are. You know what I mean?
Trump won because of low IQ voters. I love the poorly educated. Just reading this guy's comments out loud for everybody.
For sure. I don't hate the poorly educated. Is that what this person's saying? That they hate the poorly educated? We're talking about low information voters. That has nothing to do with education. There's Stanford fucking professors that are low information voters that think fucking Trump said to put bleach in his veins. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guarantee you that the vast majority of them do believe that somebody was beaten to death on January the 6th.
Exactly. And that's the whole point. It really is low information voters, because a lot of these low information voters have middle of the road IQs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm just lazy.
It's
Too
like a
fucking
bell
lazy
curve.
to do the research. Too lazy to fucking find out for themselves. So they have faith.
Yep.
Blind fucking faith.
Wombat says, "Yep, I don't even bother with those echo chamber goofs. They can't stand being wrong, even when you hit them with facts. They just perform mental gymnastics." Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I agree. I have more patience though because I love the dunk and I know it's coming
now-
always.
The guy who said, "Why did you call me a troll?" just hit me with Trump suggested injecting a disinfectant so you'd take that, but not a peer-reviewed vaccine. Totally not a troll.
Did I might have missed that, Red? But where did you say you were going to take a injection of a disinfectant?
Yeah. They're projecting again. Ma, they're projecting
They're
again.
projecting. What's up, Jet Black Cat? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming through. Hit us with the number one emotes.
You're going to pee in the pool. Well, I do have a pool up in my backyard. It is ready to go. I'm just waiting for it to get fucking warm enough to get in there. And you know what? My land, my pool. Why the fuck not? Why not swim in my own brand?
Right? My motherfucking pool.
What are you going to do about it? If anything, it'll help warm the water up a little bit because it's cold as a motherfucker right now.
That's what I was just telling Wes when he was over this week, that we should plan a little get together, have a barbecue as soon as it actually gets nice. It was supposed to be nice this week, but it's supposed to rain now all week, I guess.
Well, they tease it, man. The last 2 weeks they've teased the end of the week it gets nice, and then as it gets closer they drop it fucking 10, 20 degrees. And oh, by the way, it's gonna rain.
Right.
Trying to keep us all in the fucking house. Speaking of controlled weather, do you see that the military announced that they are going to start accounting for and taking weather into consideration for what that's worth?
You mean they didn't do that?
I read between the lines on that one.
Yeah, I mean, there have been moments in history where they failed to take the weather into account, and it definitely hurt.
We might have an attempted doxing here. You sound like you're in Illinois or Wisconsin, Big Red. Wouldn't you like to know? And your little cronies too. The idea witch hunt has begun. This is the beginning of the end, folks. They found us.
Black bag incoming. They found us, George. We're gonna have to move this show on the road. Yeah, no, we're totally cool with engaging if you want to be good faith. But if you're just gonna throw up comments and shit like that, it's gonna be a roast sesh.
He says my accent is telling. Have I said front room once or twice?
Right? If our accent is telling, that just goes to say that you also have an accent. I wonder if that is American. Fuck yeah.
You're not in California. Maybe I made the move and I'm starting my Turn California Red campaign.
Right. California dreaming, right? Fuck California. I wouldn't go to California if you literally paid me. If there was a UBI in California and all I had to do was move there to get it, I would not.
Oh, certain parts.
Nope.
Certain parts. No, I wouldn't move to fucking LA, but certain parts.
I want no part of California. It's beautiful, but there's way too many people that make it disgusting. Yeah. Yeah. There's only beauty in very little amount of California.
East of Iowa, north of Missouri.
Axel Jordan says, I wouldn't go to California even if I was homeless.
Yeah, for sure. I'd get my leather skin down in Arizona.
Right. If I was homeless, I would definitely be on a train going west. In Chicago, they don't worry about it. They just stay homeless in the summertime, spring and fall, and then in the fall they go mug somebody and get put in jail for a couple months for the winter. Real easy.
Yeah. I wonder how that's going to work this coming winter when they're not locking anybody up and not responding to fucking police calls. The bums are going to freeze to death. It's just going to be another fucking genocide of
Yeah.
Como proportions.
It sure the fuck ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean? Fuck Cuomo. I'm so sick of him. I hope Andrew Yang wins. And that's that's a stretch even. I just hate Cuomo. Directly affected death. I just threw up another link to the Discord.
Dude, apparently the people are still in the fucking refrigerated trucks, which is it's out fucking rageous.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah. There's still truckloads full of fucking bodies. It's fucking pitiful. This guy's got a fucking book deal. $5.1 million for his pat on the fucking back. He can put it right next to his fucking Emmy. Hopefully he brings both of those. Hopefully everybody at those funerals maybe every corpse in that mass grave should get a copy of his book and an autographed picture of him and his Emmy.
Yeah. You could frame it and put it next to the picture of your lost loved one. Mr. Wombat says, yeah, even if there was a UTI waiting for me, UBI waiting for me, I wouldn't go either. There's definitely a UTI waiting for you in California. Yeah, urinary tract infections aplenty in California, I could guarantee. But yeah, totally agree. Not going to Cali. I'll stop in Vegas and just go south instead of west.
Do you guys know Rob Knorr? His eyes pop out and his blood pressure skyrockets real time. I do not.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like, I'm not personally familiar with Rob Knorr, but I follow him. He's a rap god. When he gets there's another thing about the Twitch debate community. It's like whenever they're on and they're streaming, whenever they get real heated, their voices, they go to like a 2x speed. You know what I mean? Where the words just start flying out and it gets a little higher pitched. It's like there's a dial where they turn up. I can't. I'm Slow-Mo Jones. You know what I mean? I'm over here smoking weed and fucking eating.
We don't drive fast. Pimps don't grip, and we don't drive fast. We cruise, baby.
Yep. Exactly. Pimps don't grip. Couldn't have said it better myself.
His voice gets higher. He's heavy set.
Yeah, he's right about a lot though, man. That thing that he showed, he I think earlier this week he posted on his stream the same readout, basically the same thing that Eric Weinstein was saying, that the junction between the S1 and the S2 in the actual coronavirus is suspect. It shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? Well, it can be there, but it shouldn't be by natural processes. And then the CGGG spike protein, it's sus. The actual composition of the virus itself is suspect. And there's approximately 11 different sections that are suspect. Yeah, Jet Black Cat, exactly. They talking Ben Shapiro, right? Exactly. They get a little heated, they get a little jolt of fucking energy, and then it's just like, and then they breathe real heavy, and then right away, right back to 2.0 speed. It's like watching a YouTube video and you go to the speed and turn it on 2 or 2.5, and everything gets super fast and the pitches get higher. That's exactly what it's like when you listen to a Twitch streamer that gets heated. Rob's awesome. Rob is really awesome at that. That everybody talks about him fucking gish galloping or gish gallop, where basically the idea is that you're firing off points so fast that there's no way for anybody to reasonably address the points that you're making because you're just stacking them. But he doesn't do that. It's not an actual gish gallop. It's he makes a point and then he throws off a million different things that prove the original point that he said. You know what I mean? I dig Rob Noor. He's one of the most vocal Twitch Republicans where he just doesn't give a fuck, and he's not trying to fucking pussyfoot around the issues. He's just going hard, taking it head on, and not trying to be PC about it. I appreciate that as an American that defaults to fuck you,
Anything else going on?
Biden traveling to Michigan amid steep challenges on economic recovery.
To go and talk to his people about what they should do for this upcoming audit.
Yeah, there's a bunch of audits that are locked and loaded, ain't there?
Sure are.
I'm kind of just standing back on this whole Arizona audit. I just want to see the findings. I want to see the findings. I want to see their processes, and I want to see what their actual summaries are. The findings, and then I'll be more than happy to dive into it. You know what I mean? Obviously, I have problems with the way that this last election went with changing voting laws without going through legislatures. I mean, it's pretty common argument at this point. I think is it Michigan? Either Michigan or Wisconsin is one of like the clearest cases that it was done against the policy. It didn't go along with the policy and the laws that were already in place.
Even CNN is showing UFO shit. They're getting on board with the Space Force propaganda. The war machine is rolling, baby. Business is a booming.
Yeah.
Oh shit, here we go. We're trying to end this, man. Domestic terrorism incidents have soared to new highs in the United States, driven chiefly by white supremacists. Hey, don't call me chief. Anti-Muslim and anti-government extremists on the far right.
Anti-government extremist. You hear that, Red?
Mm-hmm.
Anti-government extremist. You might want to go back to episode 1 through 29. Everybody is an anti-government extremist these days. Everybody. Let's see. Domestic. Let me look this up. Do you have a source for that? Any place I should look for in particular?
What do you think about the ideas black flag? What do you think that means? It's not. We love the government. It's not. It's not a Biden Kamala fucking flag. The surge reflects growing threat from homegrown terrorism not seen in a quarter century, with right-wing extremist attacks and plots greatly eclipsing those from the far left. Really? And causing more deaths. No, that's not the black flag that they're waving. It's got nothing to do with Henley fucking Rollins. A surge of homegrown terrorism not seen in a quarter century.
Are we talking about the Asian people that are getting beat up by?
Yeah, you see all these dark-skinned Proud Boys beating up Asians all throughout New York.
QAnon's been beating the shit out of Asian people in San Francisco.
How about these people wearing Stars of David that have to hide in their bagel shops because they're getting fucking attacked and bloodied for walking down the streets of also liberal, tolerant New York?
Yeah. I agree with one thing. The guy that shot up Scalise at that baseball game, that was considered act based on political ideology. So I don't know if you consider that a part of your numbers.
But unfortunately, I think if white supremacists are real and they are smart, they'll just take the playbook from the left and just focus on attacking property, which is not violence. And how could you call something a threat if it's not violent? Mostly peaceful protest. But then again, I don't know where these racists are. I haven't seen them. I haven't gotten invited to any meetings. I don't know that they're recruiting. Where are they? Where are they? Was it the little old lady that asked for help at the grocery store? Was that a white supremacist?
60% of fucking white supremacists are feds to begin with, bro. I'd like to see you find the numbers of actual numbers of white supremacist organizations. How many?
Since 2015, right-wing extremists have been involved in 267 plots or attacks. What a plot or attack don't account for shit. And 91 fatalities. The data shows at the same time attacks implied and plots ascribed to the far left accounted for 86 incidents, leading to 19 deaths.
Yeah, but that doesn't count the entire last summer of Antifa and BLM violence. That's not included, right? That's not domestic terrorism, burning fucking city blocks, murdering people in Chaz. That doesn't count, right?
Yeah, is Chaz included in there? He's saying it does include BLM as of March 2021, those numbers. Still, so to me, it tells me that they are equally a threat. I don't see one or the other. Extremism is a threat. Extremism has always been a threat.
Since 2015, there have been 90 fatalities, and you think that's the number one issue in our country right now? Is that really what you're saying?
That's exactly what they're saying. That 90. Is the biggest issue. Not people getting vaccinated, not saving lives.
Right.
these invisible fucking racists.
90 people in 6 years. That's the issue. That's what you think is the biggest domestic threat in our country right now, huh? Wow.
China and Mickey Mouse really got people focused on the ball.
Yeah.
They're following the bouncing ball.
Mr. Wombat says Georgia audit definitely ain't happening. Georgia GOP is compromised. I believe today, right, Wombat? The Georgia Secretary of State said he's not running for re-election. I think the Georgia GOP is cleaning itself out right now. I'm interested, though. It's going to get really interesting in Georgia. Yeah, I agree. Michigan and Pennsylvania both illegally changed their laws. I totally agree. Pennsylvania, they were supposed to run it in the paper for a whole election cycle, and they changed it in November leading up. Actually, I think they changed it earlier. I think they changed their law in October before coronavirus even happened. I think that was the major part of Sean Parnell's lawsuit in the Supreme Court that got dismissed.
Talk about insider trading.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I love the white supremacy is the number one domestic threat. It's so crazy.
Russian hackers taking over our pipelines?
Well, it depends. Was that person in Indianapolis? Wasn't that a man of Arabic descent? Does he still count as a white guy doing domestic terrorism, white nationalism? Do you also have to be white?
That's the other thing too. Do those numbers reflect that Polish people, that people of Slavic descent are now people of color? Those numbers got to probably be reran.
Yeah, that would be true, wouldn't it? My point is that if you could show me numbers of actual membership in white supremacist organizations increasing over the last 20 years, I'll give you a fucking cookie. I'll make you a VIP in the stream. I don't give a shit. It's fake news. Half of them are feds to begin with.
Just like half those idea boys.
Yep.
At least the ones on top. You best believe there are handlers and they're being handled.
Yeah, any major organization that they think has any kind of influence over anything is infiltrated by the fucking feds. Every single one of them. I don't give a fuck what you say. That's what
So
goes back
we're
to
gonna
the
we're gonna open your eyes to the game here, Kush. Since you're all you think that just one side of the spectrum is the biggest threat. You might see a difference between right extremists and left extremists, but your government doesn't. They're all anti-government extremists, and you being so hard in favor for them coming down on one are only asking and demanding that they come down on both. You're making it happen. So just this is our stance. You can watch our earlier episodes. That's been our stance. Hopefully you can understand a little bit better at what you're really calling for. Because if you're a fan of those idea boys at all,
the ideology known as Antifa. Do you think that those are pro-government extremists? I mean, we agree they are extremists, and they have been counted in the fucking numbers that you're quoting to us, right? Right wing. It's all the right side. Fucking QAnon and Proud Boys are killing everybody. Mr. Wombat
you're the
says,
guardian angels.
Wombat says, that reminds me real quick. An earlier show, you guys mentioned you didn't know any other names to run against Warnock. I remember participating in a phone survey. Herschel Walker's name came up. Yeah, that's
I'll fuck with that.
I'll fuck with that. It was not so much that we didn't know any other names. It's just that the Republican Party as a whole has not put anybody forward to run in 22. You know what I mean? It's not on the fucking national televised fucking platform. That's what I'm saying, is that we need to expose which way we plan on going with this. There's only a year till 22. You know what I mean? The whole country should know who's going to take Warnock's seat in 22. And that's what I have a problem with. I love Herschel Walker, though. I love that idea as a candidate for the governor. He just seems like a fucking good-hearted dude. You know what I mean? We don't have many of them in fucking politics. Wombat says Herschel Walker is loved and a big supporter of Trump. I think he'd be a very solid candidate to go against Warnock. I completely agree. That's probably the best idea that I've seen since what's his name, Doug Collins, bowed out.
Herschel Walker for fucking health minister at the very least.
Right? What is he like?
I want to see
70. He looks like a 30-year-old.
Yeah, I want to see him challenge the current thing in there and see how much they can bench. Whoever can bench the most gets the job. So we are talking about health here.
Right.
Prove it. Prove what you know. How much can you bench?
Right. That's another thing. Like, who the fuck is anybody to tell me about my personal health? If you have high cholesterol, if you smoke, don't fucking tell me about health. You know what I mean? Don't tell me shit. You're fucking the perfect fucking picture of modern health. Unless you're that, don't fucking tell me. I'll listen to scientists and fucking nutritionists and shit, but if you're a Twitch fucking health expert, I don't really value your opinion.
This guy's still going hard on those numbers, comparing those two numbers. And again, I don't know if you heard us ask the question or not. So that to you is the biggest threat in this country right now. You are not worried about anything else on top of that.
White supremacy.
You're not worried about the upheaval in the Middle East and what that could possibly mean for the future of this country. That's not a threat at all.
Right. I heard he was pretty involved in the COVID numbers. Are you not concerned with the 550 deaths of COVID? Or even a better question, are you not concerned with the 650,000 deaths every year from heart disease? I think that's a lot, 90 times what would be 600,000 heart disease deaths.
What about the surge in crime across America because of this pandemic, or the surge in youth suicide since we've fucking taken kids out of school and forced them into fucking little prison cells?
Or the surge in violent crime and the surge in murder, the surge in general, like low-level crime.
No, our response to this data is not to talk about other topics. We're asking you. You said that this is the biggest threat to this country, and we're just asking: is it?
Is it though? 90 deaths in 6 years, no less. Herschel Walker versus, the thing. Come on, man. white supremacy is not a problem. I mean, it obviously is a problem. Nobody is endorsing white supremacy. Okay, none of us are Nazis. None of us believe in white nationalism. It's not the case. So don't try to fucking pin that over here. We're just saying that white nationalism, white supremacy ideas are not the fucking number one threat to our country or our democracy. Yes, it could be an increasing threat based on the fucking shitty feds that have done absolutely nothing to stop absolutely anything. There are red flag laws in Indiana. There was still fucking a mass shooting by somebody who was reported as mentally unfit in Indiana. Tell me again who the fucking threats are. You know what I mean? There's plenty of fucking threats. 45 people get shot in Chicago every weekend. You're talking about a stat that shows 90 deaths over fucking 6 years. American culture is a bigger threat to American democracy.
Yeah, those 91 deaths in 6 years, that's Labor Day weekend here.
Shit. Like, I'm so sick of it, bro. That just people just on here, on these platforms, all they care about is ideology. Everything is just an idea to them. It's a notion. It's like, no, the real world happens out there, guys, and you could look at it and make your own decisions based on what you see, not just about what idea you have. Not what the New York Times told you is the fucking threat. Have you noticed? Like you said last week, Red, we're on lockdown not because it's safer to be inside from a vaccine. It's because they want to kill you out there in Minecraft. God forbid anybody comes from a really fucking high violence, high crime area and wants to tell you about what the real problems are. You're going to say, oh, white people, whiteness.
You know what the number one crime or number one thing, most dangerous thing, I guess, about living in Chicago is driving an SRT. That's the biggest threat to your health in Chicago. Driving a fucking SRT.
If you have a Hellcat in Chicago, you are on the fucking, you are the target. Mr. Wombat says if people did some damn homework, they'd realize the number of actual white supremacists is very low. That was exactly my point, Wombat, is that this person on Red's stream right now is talking about white supremacy being the number one threat to America or American democracy. I want to see the number. I want to see the number of actual white supremacist organization members. Like, that's the number I want to see. Show me that it is becoming a bigger threat.
Never, he says, now he's saying he never said white supremacy was, but
domestic terrorism from the right. What else does that mean? What else could that possibly mean? Domestic terrorism from the right. Explain your motherfucking self. Yeah, right. They don't call it Chirac for nothing. Over the same span of the Afghanistan war, Chicago has lost more people. Just so people understand this. And everybody wants to get us to get the fuck out of Afghanistan, right? Why don't we get into fucking Chicago?
Who calls Chicago Chirac? People that ain't from here.
Right.
Spike Lee. Posers. Kids from Naperville.
Right. If you're from Chicago, you call it home.
Yep. We'll take Chi-Town, but that's it.
Yeah, it's not Windy Town. It's not Chi City.
Only a few idiots are out there are actually proud of that Chirac shit.
Right.
Call that shit
shot, just like Little Reese, the rapper. He got shot this weekend in a parking garage for his second, or probably even third time.
Definitely trying to dox us. Are you guys in the city or like Elgin? We're from Joylet.
Right. Right. Plainfield. Mr. Wombat says 4-year-old gets shot in Times Square, but white supremacists are the major concern. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Axel Jordan
Fuck.
appreciates that Spike Lee comment. The number one threat, domestic terrorism from the right. QAnon and Proud Boys are out there just fucking murdering people all over the place, right? That's what you're saying? Fascism. What is
Amazon needs to ban tiki torches, symbols of white oppression.
ban everything? Everything that you need has to be issued to you by your government. I mean, it's just the natural order, right? That's where you go from where you're at, right?
Fucking Portnoy. Dave Ponzi. I gotta do my best to get that hashtag going.
Dave Ponzi scheme Portnoy. I'll fuck with it.
Rest in peace, New Jack.
Yeah, for sure. I heard about that. I jumped on a panel yesterday and someone was talking shit about New Jack. They're like, he murdered somebody and then he stabbed somebody else. No, that's the same story. Guy didn't die. He did get stabbed. He tried to murder somebody in a different story, but New Jack was the man. I don't give a fuck what you say.
Art imitates life.
Right? Right? He might have been a racist. He might have been a horrible human being, but he was an awesome wrestler. They asked
His
New Jack how he-
NAACP line was fucking amazing.
Right. They asked New Jack how he wanted to be remembered, and he said that he wants to go out in a wheelchair still doing blow. That's how he wants to die.
He very well
Body
may
ain't
have.
gonna work. Yeah, right. That might be. How you looking over there? Any more peanut gallery comments?
Oh yeah, dozens of religious institutions, including mosques, synagogues, and black churches, as well as abortion clinics and government buildings, have been threatened, burned, bombed, and hit with gunfire over the past 6 years. Who left the bombs at the DNC? Somebody riddle me that one. Where's the FBI on that one?
Yeah, who did that? Okay, so the right is bombing churches and synagogues.
So now he says left-wing attacks reached 25 in 2020, right-wing reached 71. Okay, once again, that is the biggest threat. That is a huge that is not even a tenth of the threat. You know what I'm saying? That's not even 25th on the list of things that are.
All right, stop taking the New York Times as gospel, bro. I know exactly where you're getting these fucking numbers in this report from. Stop taking the New York Times as gospel. That study probably includes. You remember when the Trump supporters were following Biden's bus and the fucking Biden staffer like rammed the fucking Trump car? That probably counts that as a right wing extremist attack. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at the fucking nuance of the actual study. I'd like
that's 3 times as high. You aren't a domestic security expert, and it's not the New York Times.
I would like you to link that information. Join the Discord. I'm sure. I don't know if Red was able to get that link posted, but join the Discord and post your sources, please, because I would love to pick them the fuck apart. We're talking about a fucking white supremacist group that's like 2,500 people nationwide out of a fucking country of 330 million. Get the fuck out of here. QAnon and Proud Boys are not out there fucking burning city blocks down. They're not out there fucking causing
taking control of cities. Exactly.
Millions of dollars in damage. 30-something lives. Yeah, there were 30 lives lost in the fucking Black Lives Matter protests. How come your number only says 20 incidents if 30 people died? Fuck out of here with your information.
The extremism is a threat. Believe me, I agree. But I do not agree with the way that Joe Biden's going to go at it, or top cop Kamala, cop and feel, when they do decide that enough is enough.
The iron fist will swing.
Yeah, they're bigger fans of Law and Order than you realize. Remember, Joe Biden's had his name on every crime bill for the last fucking 100 fucking years.
Wombat says New Jack is a damn legend. You want to talk about doing it his way, love him or hate him, he was way ahead of his time. For sure, man. For sure. I fucking love wrestling, as cringe as that sounds nowadays. You know what I mean? I grew up watching wrestling with my dad. So it's like a what do you call it? You know, I don't know. It's like a throwback to me. It brings me back when I watch it now. Now I watch AEW strictly. I don't watch WWE at all. It's fucking trash. But I'm totally sucked back into the wrestling world with AEW. And New Jack and ECW is part of the reason why I love wrestling, because ECW was a fucking shit show. You never know what was going to happen at an ECW show.
Troll is obvious. You just don't like the fact that there's not a Republican in the White House.
Joke's on you, right, Red? Red's not even a Republican. I'm a Republican, and I'm upset that Trump isn't in the White House, but I'm not I'm not losing any sleep over it. There's going to be 4 years of unadulterated Democrat control, which is naturally going to force plenty of people on your side right into our open arms, because the Democrats can't stop themselves. They have no chill.
As I was saying earlier with one of our guests, I think that all these people that are getting their education into the crypto markets right now are only over time going to become more and more conservative after they start making a little bit of money, but also learning the system and what these things that they're actually voting for are in real fucking life. As soon as everybody starts seeing those capital gains tasks on their little minuscule fucking profits, you know, that they work so hard to finally learn the system, how to do this shit right, finally make some money, and then, oh shit, I got to give half of this up.
Right. Not only did I get taxed when I made it, but now I have to give 33% of what I invested in back. Like, that's how this works.
And as for being sad about a Republican being in the White House, I'm actually glad that Biden's in the White House, because he's somebody that we know where he stands. Everybody knows where he stands. He can't really hide and get too much weaseling done, as opposed to a snake in the grass uniparty Republican. You know, it seems like there's a lot of people that I actually did want to bring this up too, that I just remembered. It seems like a lot of people that don't know what happens or what's supposed to happen after they fool you twice.
Good fucking point, man. I'll agree with that all day long. Yeah, I'm with you there, Mr. Wombat. AEW and NJPW for me. They're bringing NJPW to AEW. It's going to be fucking glorious. I can't wait. Did you watch this last week where Moxley fought, what's his name? Yuji? Was it Yuji Nagata? Is that who he fought? Impact's been doing things too. I remember saying at 2 a.m. Yeah, man. That hit that Forbidden Door. It's fucking awesome. I'm really enjoying it. The troll might be semi-right. I'm upset that there is no Trump in the White House, but I admit that there is no Trump in the White House. Do you admit that you're partly responsible for anything that comes in the next 4 years, Mr. Trolly Trollerson?
Very good. I didn't even think to ask the question. Have you absolved yourself of all responsibility of this administration and its sins? You say you want to point to white supremacy as a threat or whatever. I say, once again, low information voters, and I believe a vote is more dangerous than a gun in the hand of an extremist.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about left and right as well. I mean, let's talk about death numbers as far as far right and far left. You think Stalin and Mao have produced less death than the far rights of the history. It's like they're, if anything, equally as disgusting. It's like you're trying to paint us into a corner where we somehow are apologetic for far right fucking damage and death. It's
Yeah.
completely disingenuous.
Ain't got shit to do with me.
Right.
Well, looks like he finally lost his steam. See you next time.
All right. We'll be back. Will you? Wombat says, I missed last week, Mox Nagata. I was at the Blood and Guts show, though. Oh, that's fucking awesome, bro. Was it cool being there watching it with the fucking cages? It had to have been, right? Hoping to get to Double or Nothing. I hope they hit the road again because they'll come to Chicago and I'll be
they are
there.
hitting the road again. Yeah, we got to get, if they do, we got to get tickets. I got to wear my Orange Cassidy shirt, that my Orange Cassidy shirt.
Your Red Cassidy?
Yep. Rojo Cassidy.
For sure, man. I'm definitely down. I can't wait, actually, for the world to get back to normal. It's like people don't realize that they just have to get back to normal. Once you start doing things normally, then the world is back to normal. And the government's just going to be like, oh, yeah, we've been saying you should do this for the last 3 months. You know what I mean?
Nancy Pelosi doesn't want you to know that people are going to do what people are going to do.
Mm-hmm. People need to organize, especially in these areas that are still under lockdown and still under governor mandates. You know what I mean? Organize. That's all you got to do. Even you lefties, you guys are really good at organizing, right? Organize local businesses and just say, everybody says fuck you at the same time. What are you going to do? Normal life is within your reach. You just have to fucking show some heart. You know what I mean? I'm a gamer, period. I'm an introvert gamer. The world just caught up to me. I was always chilling, playing games by myself. That's what I do. You know what I mean? I have no problem with lockdowns and fucking stay in your house orders. It's where I feel my best.
Huh. Some guy, Ben Baller, verified on Twitter, is going at Dave Ponzi, says that they've reached out to me and offered me 1 billion coins, and I'm not anywhere near the influential level that you're at. Says, I get you want to make money, but be transparent. You're promoting it because you got it. They gave you a shit ton of their coins. Interesting take there. Something to keep eyes on.
Right.
Dave Portnoy just turned heel, everybody.
The heel turn is complete. The $1 million man got to him. Mr. Wombat said it was. The downside is
They had an opening because they just kicked Bill Gates out, you know? They had
yeah. Yeah, the club is accepting resumes. We just don't know where to send them. We're not in the club. Wombat says it was. The downside is the first hour was taped. So we were watching tape matches on the bid screen. The actual Blood and Guts match was the only part we saw live in person. Oh, well, that's kind of shitty. I didn't know they did that.
That is shitty.
I hope you didn't spend a ton of money to go and watch one, 40-minute match? Jet Black Cat says, amen to that, bro. That's what I'm talking about. We're bringing fucking just simple logic back. That's what I'm for. That's what we're fighting for. Fucking think for yourself logically. The answers are there, man. AEW going back on the road. Texas in July, I believe. Double or Nothing's going to be a full capacity show. Oh, shit. Full capacity.
Yeah, they announced last week they're going back on the road. Don't know how long it'll be before they're here.
I wonder if they're going to be doing outside shows, you know what I mean? Like parking lot setups instead of inside the venue setups. It's going to be interesting. You know what I mean? UFC, they're leading the way. All right, guys, I am going to pop up the Discord link one more time if anybody wants to join the Discord, if anybody wants to have direct access to me and Red, or be able to post comments, questions, anything you want us to cover, go ahead and join there. Let us know that you're interested or what you want to be, what you want us to talk about or cover, and we will do that, guaranteed.
Just a place to hang out in between streams. Bullshit. We'll try to get a few people with opposing viewpoints in there, so it's not just an echo.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be open to any side of the aisle, any form of belief. We're not judging. We want to talk to people that with different beliefs as ours. That's the most important part, is to see where the other side is coming from. Maybe not to agree with them, but to at least be able to understand where they're coming from.
I don't give a fuck about somebody leaving here thinking that, or thinking that I changed somebody's mind or I brought them over to this side. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about planting the seed that 6 months down the road they decide, they figure it out for themselves. Like, oh shit, that little deja vu moment where it all comes back to them and they remember. It's what I'm here for.
Right.
One little seed.
And not just that, I'm open to having my mind changed on some things. If you have a really well thought out idea or stance on something, I'm more than willing to listen to it, because I don't think I know everything. You know what I mean? I need to expand my knowledge on some things. So you're more than welcome to come and share whatever news sources you have, whatever sources of anything. That's what I'm really interested in, is for people to join the Discord and be able to share news and share sources and share stories, so that everybody can get a more full understanding. You know what I mean? Some people depend too much on 2 or 3 news sources because they're so busy throughout the day, but that's not the best way to stay informed.
Convenience is often the enemy.
Sharon's got light bulbs going on. That's what it's all about, man. Just start people thinking. Yeah. You say so much with so little, Sharon. The light bulb, the idea, the firing up somebody's own, idea factory. I think a lot of them have been dormant for too long. We need some light bulbs to turn on instead of just be light bulbs.
Fact checkers are back, at least for BBC. Israel-Palestine conflict, false and misleading claims, fact checked. Might have to take just to have a little ticker. I might have to get my whiteboard full of these Israel-Palestine checked facts and see how long they hold over time.
Yeah, if they even hold now, or if it's just context and rhetoric,
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. Well, we've been going for a while here. I think we're going to wrap it on up. Like I said, I posted the Discord link. You're more than welcome to join us there. Become part of our little Chords V Plugs community. We're doing pretty good on a rate of growth. So just join up, man. Just let's get connected. Actually connected, instead of just being voices and ideas on the airwaves. You know what I mean?
Faceless people hiding behind their masks.
And Red and I both plan on upping the production value here too. We're both planning on getting cameras and actually showing our faces, and so you could actually connect a face to a voice. So, a lot of people don't take streams or people's ideas seriously if you can't see an actual face. It takes some heart to show your face when you're sharing ideas. So we're there with it. We're with it. We're gonna catch up.
Can't talk shit about wearing masks when you're not showing your face on the internet. Fuck the doxing. I was almost gonna tell the troll that was in here, because he was saying, "Oh, so you are from Chicago?" Da, 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 da. Like, yeah, I mean, we're not afraid. We don't give a fuck. We don't hide our face here in the fucking city.
We we proudly proclaim that we're Chicagoans, even though
Yeah, it's in the intro. It's in the fucking intro. We don't give a fuck. Come to.
bring it. That's it.
Come to my block.
Sharon's here says another great thought-provoking stream. See you on Discord. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
Wombat says whiteboard racist. Wombat says great stream. Y'all take it easy. We'll take it any way
Appreciate
we
that.
can get it, Wombat.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming through and spending some time with us, though, Sharon and Wombat. You guys are the real MVPs.
Mala suerte.
Jet Black Cats, I'm Mala Suerte on Discord. #1. Good show, homies. Appreciate you, Mala Suerte. I'm going to say it with the white accent because I don't know Spanish very well. But I definitely appreciate you coming through. Come on back. We will be back.
Blizza with the Gracious.
Gracias. All right, guys. It's been fun. We always enjoy spending time with you guys. We hope you enjoy it as much as we do. We will be back.
Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe. Stay positive.
And with that, we're out.
Drop